we started. Okay. Welcome back.
Hello.
Hi.
I was like making aware that if I don't think it was.
Don't stand up too quickly. Yeah.
Michael not coming?
No. So Michael is unable to attend this week. He has his niece's birthday party. Super rude for them to not plan this on next weekend, where all the other nieces and nephews are celebrating.
Niece and nephew day.
Yeah, July niece and nephew day. But last time we played, a pretty straightforward session. But to give a little precursor to what happened, you were on the hunt on your way to Mythfrost, looking for answers to what's going on with the Astral Brotherhood and what is their connection to what's going on with the Night Stalker and Malice, the god, one of the prime deities of this world. Along that hunt, Cornelius's rod was taken. In pursuit to Mythfrost, you were able to track down and defeat the thief, who also provided intel that Cornelius's parents are more than likely upon the mysterious continent of Merician to the east. After this information, you guys were like, well, fuck it, we're in Mythfrost. Let's go see our big metal boys family. So everyone went with Melicroft back up from the actual fane of Freya up into the Tower of Worship, where you were able to go to the giant mead hall, this Viking-style mead hall, and met Siobhan and Melicroft's father. The next day, decided to go shopping because it was desperately needed after a long travel. Put in a bunch of orders for weapons and magical items, enchanted items, potions. We're able to collect a few of the potions, but while in the potion shop, Agatha, the owner of the store, made notice to you that she has not received a certain shipment that she typically gets once a month or so from a certain individual. But what was more mysterious was not just the shipment going missing, but she hadn't seen this guy. This particular acquirer of goods was a frequent shopper here. She would see almost daily delivering different packages. He was quite the courier. But his disappearance became troublesome because one of her most profitable potions that she makes, she was unable to create without this specific bloom of flower. That's where you stepped in, went to find the flower, were engaged in a fight with two different young white dragons and their papa or mama, a large white phoenix, an ice phoenix. After defeating all of these beings, you went into the cave where the phoenix came out of, came from, and breached is the perfect word. Yeah, it's a great combination of the two. After the phoenix went breach,
Oh my god.
you went inside the cave and found all of the blooms, the eldritch blooms, and you were also able to find a large sum of coin and jewels and sort of magical enchanted items. You were able to find just over 14,000 gold pieces in total. Something called the Frostbite Blade and the Ice Heart Amulet. After defeating, you guys gathered up the dragon's hides, scales, just carcasses, took them into town. The phoenix had consolidated into this large ice chunk, this kind of heavy looking piece of ice shard that was thrown into Anari's bag.
I'm carrying it in my
Yep,
tails.
you are carrying that right now, and
I
you guys
made
brought it
a
to
baby
town.
bird thing, the baby Borgin.
Yep.
Yeah.
You dropped off the carcasses at the stables at the front because the guards wouldn't let you bring the bodies of dead dragons into town, and then you went back and had some drinks at the ale house, the mead house, with your folks. Anari got picked up. She's having a good night.
Inara didn't get picked up.
Sorry, Feria got picked up and is having a good night. Anari went to bed early, actually, and
did.
didn't see that. Didn't know
You're
that happened.
lucky, because I would have made that a fun conversation.
I'm kind of sad you were.
And the rest of you had a few more drinks, went to bed. Isadora had an interesting vision, dream, eye-opening experience.
Oh, I think someone also had an eye-opening experience over here.
But at the end of the day, you guys all get rest, a long rest, and leveled up. And today is the 18th day of harvest, the year 4210. So, good morning, level 6 adventurers. Talk to me. What's the plan for today? What's on the agenda?
Let's go sell the dragons.
And get our stuff.
And shop supply.
Put their stuff.
We're gonna get our stuff.
We
And
need,
then go.
we need to
Our
go see my
goods should
homie.
be ready by 4, then we can head out, correct? Don't forget,
So
I
we
have a
haven't met up
mission
yet.
from Eratok. We must complete this mission. No more time to waste. We have to go.
There's still
Dead.
steps to find.
There are things we need to check in with Agatha. I need to see
All
Oros
before
before
4
we
o'clock.
leave.
You said we would leave by 4 o'clock. I've been quite
We
patient.
we
I've
will
waited
leave
24
as
hours.
soon as we possibly can. There are other things that need to happen before we go.
Do you know where he is? No.
No, but we should at least start looking.
By all means.
If only I knew someone who knew a lot about the goings on. I do, and I need to go see him today.
Wow, you forgot your friends so easily. You just started remembering.
That
How unfortunate.
that's on me.
Well, let's go.
Yeah, what's the plan?
Where's Feria?
Oh shit.
She's not. Oh yeah, she's
Oh,
not.
she's
in
not
there.
in the room.
We can't leave without her. She didn't join us last night.
I think
Is she
that,
okay?
I that
fine.
she stayed the night with the lovely gentleman that she was talking to last night. The only thing
Isn't
I
that
know,
dangerous?
No.
She
Only
could
time
be in
will tell.
danger. Do I need to go find her?
All I know is that she was on the second floor
I would imagine I probably would get up pretty early
and sneak out.
I wouldn't sneak.
Roll a stealth check.
See if he wakes up. and tries to
It sounds great, and if he doesn't, well,
How's that after?
I'm sensing a very
That-
real
that
desire.
morning-
Yeah, why don't we role play you leaving the room?
I would love that interaction.
Can you roll a stealth check for me?
I wouldn't be trying to sneak out. I'd
Where
probably
are you
just.
going, my love?
It'd probably be more of a perception for him because I'm just gonna get up and start getting ready to go without really being quiet.
Apparently you were
But
very
yeah, let's
temporarily
get
good
that.
last night.
Yeah, he's out.
You roll a 1.
I rolled a nat 1, so
For what? I thought you
stealth.
weren't sneaking
I
out.
wasn't sneaking.
Well, then you didn't have to roll.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought you were sneaking out, and then you said you weren't sneaking out, and so he
You just
rolled.
left your bow in there.
Yeah, he rolled
That's your
perception.
one.
He did not notice.
She's hitting every corner of all furniture. At this point, he's just pretending to be asleep because he doesn't want to interact with her.
Somehow he's snuggling her boot. She has to pull out of his arm.
All right. Well, I will make my way downstairs then.
All the way down the stairs. Yeah, you're able to shimmy the way down, catch up with everybody.
Boots on as I'm going down the stairs.
Yeah,
and-
yeah, you feel really good this morning.
Was it the fun time?
Can't complain.
Are you okay? What happened?
Oh, I guess you were not there. I met a friend and spent some time with that friend. So.
She was attacked by a trouser lizard.
What's that?
Oh,
we need to
he's
examine
joking.
your body to
No,
make sure
don't.
everything's okay.
No, we're good. We're fine.
I can
It was
heal
a-
you. Did he hurt you?
No, didn't hurt me. No.
I don't think that he hurt her. I think that they just had some fun.
I want to have fun.
Probably.
Why didn't you invite me?
I'm sure that you probably see it as mating, but
Oh.
it can be a hobby as well.
Oh.
It was that. Yes, Inari, she's not wrong. It was just.
I mean, we're in Mythfrost. It's kind of a
Did your
sport
mother
around here.
ever teach you about the birds and the bees and the repercussions of?
Yes,
Mating.
we took.
Well, we have to get married now.
Oh no. Maybe we have. Okay, you had a different custom growing up. That was a long time ago.
A long time ago.
It's maybe not quite as
Rigid.
traditional anymore. Yeah. We have some liberties.
Are you a prostitute?
No, didn't take money for that.
No, she did it for free.
I got something out of it.
We got dragons to sell. Let's go.
I will say before we leave, there's been something that I've been seeing.
We'll talk about this later.
At
Don't
night.
need to really.
And before it was just a dream, so I did not think much about it. But last night, I was just looking out, out the window, and I started to see this very ominous hand claw thing grasp at the moon. But it wasn't a dream this time. So I'm kind of on the side of Inari in that we probably need to find this Night Stalker quickly.
Someone else of intelligence. Thank you.
I don't know what exactly that means in terms of.
Down the stairs, you guys hear Bruvid just stumbling down the stairs, and he looks at everyone. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, Dad, how you doing?
Doing good. Doing good. What's this about a hand?
Yeah.
I was seeing things last night out the window.
Weren't we all?
It just seemed to be very ominous.
Like, I don't know, sitting down next to an evil entity, perhaps in the Feywild, kind of ominous.
Perhaps. I didn't actually pray to Malice. I did not mean it.
Well,
Do a lot
Pair
of-
has meaning.
Do a lot of evil things happen because they think people mean it? They just accidentally do it.
I'm not evil.
It's unusual.
I will say this, and it works both ways, for good and for ill. Sometimes people are noticed or chosen by certain deities. And,
Do you think
hands
that,
grasping at the moon in the night. Did you get a good feeling when you saw it?
No. it was not a good feeling, but if he chose me, then maybe it's supposed to be a good feeling.
Come on. He might just be trying to get your attention.
But when you
He's got this.
when you something about a fate. I'm catching up. I'm catching up. When you sat down, what happened?
So the person that was in front of me was praying to a god named Malice, and so to be perfectly honest, I don't remember my reasoning. I think I was trying to get him to trust me, and so I said that I would also pray to Malice, and so I just got down on my
I think
knees.
that's where you went wrong.
I I see that now, but in the moment I wasn't thinking about
I mean,
that.
hindsight is perfect vision, right? So probably shouldn't have started with the kneeling down, replicating a prayer-like thing.
I just wanted that,
So he invited you to pray, and then you thought, okay,
I'm going to fake pray.
and then you got down and prayed.
Fake prayed.
I don't
How do you-
think
how do
there's
you
such
fake
thing as
pray?
fake praying when you
How
do
do you fake
exactly
pray?
the proper prayer.
I guess in my mind I thought that it was fake praying because I don't follow Malice. I don't believe in his ways. But I was just saying things to appease someone else, that person.
You see Bruvid walk over and pour just a little bit of ale into this kind of clearly a dirty glass from last night, but he doesn't care. He just kind of walks back. Little hair of the dog, of course. Takes it back and he says, okay. So you fake prayed. Just making sure I'm on the same understanding here. You fake prayed, but everything that you did, besides in your head, you thought was fake, but everything that your actions were very real praying.
I could see how someone would think that.
Did you
Maybe the god
did you
never thought
feel
it.
anything in your head or hear anything or
I felt a tingling.
oh you
Like
prayed?
Oh, okay. I did not think much of it, but
Until you saw a hand squeezing the moon.
well, that's the second time I saw something like that. The first time was in a dream, something similar. He did not reach the moon yet. He was like about to. But again, it was a dream. I thought that I was just seeing things. But this time I was fully awake.
I was
Which is more
sleeping. Did
concerning.
you see this?
It depends on what time of the night it was.
You don't know.
Well, I
I was in the room. I was there, but
It was before I went to sleep. So, I mean, we both went in there. I didn't go to sleep yet. I just went and looked at the window, and then I went to bed after that. I just didn't say anything to anybody. I was like, good night.
Isadora, I would put it this way. Imagine you are taking a leisurely stroll and you see, I don't know, a chipmunk calling your name, which is pretty curious. Normally you don't pay attention to chipmunks, but hey, this one's calling your name. So you bend down to look at it, all of a sudden a second one joins in and sits right next to it and is looking at both of you. Are you going to be intrigued at both of them, or are you just going to go, the one's shouting my name, but now there's two of them here for some reason? And what if that one makes eye contact with you and then just kind of slinks off and keeps looking over its shoulder? You're going to follow it, right?
Am I the second chipmunk?
In this story, yes.
I believe in the story of Malice.
What I'm trying to say is...
deity that the chipmunks are praying to, it sounds like.
What does chipmunks have to do with the situation?
You know, I was confused as well.
What I'm trying to illustrate
I got you. Ting, ting.
is if someone has a god's attention and you happen to walk into that field of sight while their attention's directed there, they might find you more interesting or as interesting as the person who summoned them.
I would say I'm very interesting.
Well,
One
God, you
could
prayed.
just said that without including chipmunks. That just made it so much more complicated.
So what?
Have you met me?
Yes, you're very complicated. Tink tink.
I don't know. I mean, if I need to, I don't necessarily want to pray to Malice again, but.
No one is saying that you should.
Maybe she should.
No, she should get down on her knees, hold her hands together, and almost
wanted her to do it the first time.
Yeah.
I was not trying.
We weren't there.
I was not trying to touch the metaphorical
Chipmunk.
gem. Okay.
Oh, you touched it.
Metaphorical floating gem.
She just always.
But I wanted to keep you guys informed because, you know, the first time I could brush it off, but this second time I think that it's necessary.
Well,
for you guys
especially
to
if
be
you're
aware.
seeing things, we probably need to just keep an eye on that, or somebody is making you see things.
I think it's
If
that
it
one.
gets worse, then
Remind me, how long ago was the first dream that you had?
Like yesterday.
I think it was the first. It was the night of me. Right. Okay. So however long that was.
You guys are still in prayer.
Yeah. When we.
I thought it was when we were camped out on the way to Mythfrost. Was when you saw the moon.
But it was that. But I think we left Redborough, right? It was the night. It was the night that I played.
It was that night that you guys had first left.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. So not too long ago.
Well, if the hand is Malice, who is the moon?
Alta. Azrathna?
I failed my classes, so.
Well, we already know that Malice has some connections to Freya in the sense of wanting something from her.
Is Freya and the moon
represent
never
Freya at all?
associated?
I would like to remind everyone that there is a goddess named Luna,
That's true.
and that's about as moony as a name can get.
But what does Luna have to do with this?
I don't even know if she does. This seems to be between Freya and Malice.
Well, all we can say is 3 days have gone by and this metaphorical hand is encroached closer on the moon. Who knows what will happen in 3 more days?
Did it completely grasp the moon?
Didn't grasp the moon.
It was like a
But it was like
It was like a.
going over it?
I don't know how to use the correct. Maybe I'll just put the nail on the head here. It was like some sort of divine cage, and the claws wrapped into the cage and squeeze. What you saw was the bending of the gate. You saw the cage give way as he squeezed in, or whoever this hand is.
Okay, so it was a cage, not the moon.
You don't know.
Okay.
What you saw him grab, he did not grab onto the moon and go. You saw him grab a cage. It was just where the moon was.
Sorry. So, with that new information, rewind. I explain it better. So sorry. I explain it better. Yes, a cage.
Is there something being trapped on the moon?
It was next to the moon. Or by the moon.
Is there being something trapped in the sky?
I think whatever's behind the cage, or encaged, or the cage of which it's in. I'm not sure.
Maybe
It would be
like
interesting if Malice is sending you metaphorical warnings to what he might be doing.
It's like a taunt.
But I was maybe, yeah.
Ah, look at me.
Yeah.
I'm winning.
Or you might be able to see things
Not
that
that
you're
we're much
not
of a threat to a god at the moment.
meant to
Right.
see. You could be gaining an insight into something you may not necessarily need to be seeing.
because I made that connection to Malice.
So
Because you played.
Fake praise.
Pray.
Yes.
Fake prayed with real consequences.
fake prayer, real consequences.
At this point,
That's
let's
a
just
shirt
agree
right
it's
there.
not.
I knew I should not have prayed.
Well,
But I just wanted you guys to be aware.
this is good information to take to Oros and ask his thoughts on it.
Oh, that would be great. And also get our stuff.
I would like you to sleep at the furthest bunk from me from now on, if that's okay.
I take back what I said about wanting to find a Night Stalker.
I think he has something to do with it.
I'm just kidding. Of course.
Before we even, I mean, let's be real, we're having visions from a god and we're trying to find a demigod. We almost lost to some dragons. So,
Oh, speaking of which, hey
We've got some
Dad.
work to do.
Rufus.
Hey Dad. I know you're hungover.
What's new?
What's new?
Have you ever seen Mom work with like dragon scale, dragon hide in her armor crafting?
Not that I know of.
We may have stumbled across 2 white dragon corpses, and we're wondering.
created 2 white dragons.
Well, that's neither hither nor yon. We were wondering if that could be incorporated into some kind of protective device, or if you knew someone who could work with such materials. I was going to ask Mom, but I ran into you first.
It's bright today.
Randall.
I don't think I don't think she's ever worked with anything like that.
Or would she know anyone who could use it for weapons or arrows or just use them in general?
You should ask her. I don't know.
Where's your mom?
Is mom up yet?
Tink, tink, tink.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I can go knock on her door for her.
I am not going to push my luck with the scariest woman in Mythfrost. I think we should go speak to Oros. Let Dad wake up a bit and
It's the
perhaps
best thing you said all day.
come back when everybody's on their feet and then take care of our business before we try to figure out whatever hands in the sky and bars bending and.
Well, let's go to the alchemist and then Oros, and then.
Would Oros be closer or the shop, the potion shop?
Would Oros be?
Would he be on the way to the potion shop to drop off the stuff? What time is it?
I mean, probably crack of dawn for you guys. I assume you all get up right as the sun rises, but so Oros, everything here is towers. Everything here is tall, large erected buildings. So there's not a lot of things that are not on the way because everything's it's compact but tall. So anywhere you go, it's just like different businesses upon different levels stacked up. Oros would be within the political sector, the royal sector of Mythfrost.
That's my old office. I would know where it is.
You would, but to explain to everyone else,
Yeah.
it would be where the Talari family stays. So, not within the common folk of shopkeepers, and things like that. So, a little out, but nothing is within more than like a 10-minute walk, 15-minute walk tops. So it's a pretty compact town.
Well, I guess we could go let Agatha know that we have her supplies. I mean, the earlier we get them to her, the more time she has to do whatever it is she needs to do with them.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully that's a quick stop, and then we can head straight to Oros.
And then we can see Oros, which is long overdue. I think that might be our most productive course of action today.
Okay. Let's do it.
Cool. You smash open the doors, ready to take on the day. As you walk through the streets, it is still prime meat fest here in Mythfrost. There is a delicious aroma going through the air of different smoked meats, jerkied meat, dried out, glazed meat, just an assortment of different ways to prepare pork, chicken, steak. It is an abundance of your olfactory senses as you walk through this street.
My snout is just growing.
Oh yeah, she's full foxed out from front.
I probably just look a little scary because just you can see the drool. It's kind of like a bulldog at this point.
Are we gonna stop and eat? We didn't have breakfast. There's so much to eat.
Think about these turkey legs. Is they're mobile?
You can just grab.
Well, thank you. I just grab his.
Fine.
You're a genius. Will you grab another?
Grab your own damn turkey.
I did.
I did.
Take the next one he grabs.
I'm for both hands.
Anari, as you're leading the way, grabbing all the different turkey legs.
Not
can you
paid
roll?
for anything.
Can you? It's all free.
It's all free.
It's all free.
This is sort of their.
It's
This is
the
their way to
best.
give back to the community in like a sort of a fun festival way. So
I'm imagining.
This was always the plan.
I'm imagining a beef kebab like this long, and I just deep throw that.
Ruptured lungs.
there's a chipmunk somewhere like. Anari, I need you to make a perception check.
Well, that's a 19 without anything added.
Ooh.
So, do I need to add something to it? Or
No.
Okay.
No. You notice as you're frantically looking around, all your senses are on overload because you're grabbing and smelling and eating and tasting and feasting. You see
Gaining a few pounds here.
You see that there's quite a bit less militant guard here than there have been in the last couple days you've spent in Mythfrost. Significantly less. There was 2 or 3 or 4 on every street corner, usually in pairs of 2. Now you see the occasional militant member sort of posted up, looking around, but being someone who's new to this sort of environment, you're a little bit more
hyper aware of my surroundings.
Yeah, cautious and paranoid, so it's something you notice
Okay.
as you're looking for your next bite.
I'm assuming I got a lamb chop and I'm just about to rip into it, and I lean in and go, I know I'm new to your surroundings here, but man, this is so good. Do you want a bite?
Oh, I've had my own. We're good.
What about this one?
I'm loving this one.
Okay, anyways. Is everyone on holiday? Where is everybody?
What do you mean? There's people everywhere.
Well, yeah, but your guard folk, they're just so demanding all the time with all your rules. But there's not as many out and about.
You're not wrong.
They do some. Where is everybody? And the guards?
Well,
Ooh, that was a good one.
Is that
I tried this
This is
one.
something we would expect as
I-
a normal flux of like
I
danger, non-danger.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Is that typical for Mythros, Melicroft? That there's a
I don't know if
you
you
have that
know
many
for
and then there's that
Mythfrost.
little
You don't come up
militant
here.
members?
No. This is more akin to what the normal militant presence is. It was heightened before,
Right.
and whatever trouble. Out of character, didn't we hear that the king's ship reappeared?
Yes.
I would assume that whatever business with the Elder King's ship or whatever might be resolved. Or they may have apprehended someone, I don't know, but they seem to be keeping less of an eye on everybody, which could mean any number of things. I would love to ask Oros about it when I see him.
Oros knows.
All you ever talk about
knows a lot.
Melicroft is this Oros guy. I don't know.
Watch him have a marriage.
I can't
that's what I'm
emphasize
saying.
enough.
Oh,
So,
shit.
Oros is the grand historian here in Mythfrost. That is my old position.
I'm just kidding.
No, all I'm trying to say is when I was in Oros's position, I was one of the most well-informed people on the continent. So I would assume that he knows a lot of what's going on right now. I'd like to ask him once we get up there. I don't have an answer. This is more akin to what the guard normally is like.
Relax, it's not like he's gonna die in the next 4 hours.
That was like a pretty specific kind of joke there.
Why did you look at the sky after you said it?
I don't know, I just
That just,
Why did you look to your left?
I'm going to be honest, Cornelius, I don't know how to receive that. So
my brain went into it like I need to talk to him, not just oh he died last night.
Oh no.
Should have been here.
You just missed him.
Just
We've talked about the militant being a lot more tense in the past, like especially in the last few weeks. How do they seem now? The ones that are
Very tense.
they're still tense. Okay.
I always remember them being tense.
Here's left of my bone. Please take it and get rid of it.
Yeah, when I see Fairy, I walk around.
Rumor
spreads fastest.
there's trash cans, food everywhere. Also trash cans everywhere. Bum.
I gave it to him to get rid of it. He handles my trash because he is some.
There's three small children that go out and scurry and grab the bone, and they're like fighting over it.
See? Charity work.
Hopefully to make like a sword or
some
something.
broth or something, shoulder.
It was like a sword.
Oh, do that.
The lamb chop bow?
Yeah,
A very small sword.
yeah, a dagger.
A little shank. So,
That's for the chip.
A lamb
They
shank.
he also said that word spreads fast and people know about Faria now. In the city.
I said there's a tent on every corner. So they're
No,
pitching
it's
tents
just
on every corner and he goes, well, the
prostitute,
fairies
is that
walk.
what you're
Apparently people like cracks in skin, but okay.
I was trying to make the joke earlier. What god did you praise at your altar of adultery? Oh gods, oh gods. Oh,
I think that's air talk.
that's true.
So, walking through the city, again, you sort of notice there's a much smaller presence of militant. They do look stressed, they look tense, but they typically always do. That's kind of their job, is to be hyper alert.
If we pass by one, I'm gonna offer the first militant that I see. You look stressed. Would you like a lamb rack?
He just kind of bows his head and he takes it from you. And thank you.
You deserve it. And just keep going. And then as I go, I'm just gonna keep passing them out.
They all take it, and they're very thankful for it. And you do see him sort of lift his helmet for a moment. So you make your way to the more luxurious side of town, where the Teleri family live, as well as Oros, the lore keeper, and a few other members of the bureaucratic side of the government of this town all reside. The best way I can describe what this looks like is very similar to that of, imagine the Wizard of Oz's castle, except not all green, not all like emerald, but just imagine just that. It just seems extremely luxurious. For like, the rest of the town is nice. It's not run down. There's really not like
Overly the top.
yeah, there's not like a huge, it doesn't seem like there's like a giant difference level of between like classes here in the city. You don't really see like a super rich area and maybe like a more poverty area. Like, you don't see that here. It's more, everyone's sort of kind of around the same level. And then there's the Teleris, and you just see this extremely tall, almost cathedral looking castle. It's not surrounded by water like the last one, but you do notice that it's built into this mountainside, similar to Minas Tirith from Lord of the Rings. It's like built into the mountain, kind of jutting out. The presence at the front here is a lot more laxed than it was at the Redborough entrance to like the royal family. There's not a long line of people waiting to give gifts of prosperity to the family. There of course is a presence of militant here, but there's only about 6 individuals that sort of stand along this front gate. There's 2 on one side, 2 on the other, and then you notice that there's a couple of other guys kind of, looks like they're bent over, riding upon this sort of pre-built together, or not pre-built, portable desk. The 4 individuals that are at the guard station on each side of the entrance to the castle, they see you all approaching, and who would be leading here? Probably you, right?
Yeah.
They say, "Sir, how are you?"
Doing well. How about yourself?
Oh, can't complain. If you ate well this morning, we'll eat well tonight. How about you?
The same. We've enjoyed the Bounty of Harvest Festival.
What can I do for you?
Yes, and I'll produce the insignia. Lorekeeper Danae Velstat, I am here on business with Lorekeeper Oros Kemp. I would like to speak to him.
Okay. When would you like to schedule this meeting?
When is he available?
One moment.
We've been put on hold.
Yeah.
Oh, he's available now.
Convenient.
So convenient. Would be great.
Would we be able to see him now?
Absolutely. I am able to allow a few of you inside. Do you happen to have the proper, what's the best way to say this, authoritative rights over these other individuals?
Yes, I can vouch for them, and we'll accept responsibility for them.
It's not what I mean.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Do you have the purchasing agreements for these individuals to travel with you?
What does he mean by purchasing agreements?
Would Danae know what
Did
he's
you buy
talking
us?
about?
Yeah. So there's citizens, non-citizens, and then there's individuals that work for citizens under more of a less than from their will.
Yeah. Yes. No, these are not my.
I am not a slave.
Property?
Maybe
I don't have purchase agreements for these individuals. If
Maybe
that's
you
what
and
we're referring
Cornelius should go in there because you are citizens.
to.
You likely need to go too, Isadora, with resources.
Cornelius.
I'm not a citizen.
What? My name?
Cornelius or
Oh, yes, my name is Cornelius Orum Kima.
yes, Mr. Keener and myself.
My uncle Dovak. You know, he travels here rarely, but I mean,
And
fellow citizen.
and you, big fella, you look familiar. What's your name?
Does he look familiar to me?
You see slits through a helmet.
So yes.
You did a pretty popular. You did a pretty
looks like
popular
everyone
blood
knows.
debate.
And popular blood related to that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I will provide a little anecdotal information that might be helpful for your roleplay here. You do know that the Teleri family and the Shazera family are like the most close. Like these are the closest allies of families. The other groups of potential leaders between the Maros, the Deltons, the Lariats, the Aztecs, a lot more animosity between those families. Shazera and Teleri are like
this.
yeah.
Tight.
You would have been here a lot as a kid.
Yeah, that's why I'm
What I
not
mean.
just my name is Callan.
Callan.
It's been a while.
It has. Sorry to hear about everything that happened.
Things out of my control, unfortunately.
Do you, no offense, Lawkeeper, do you also vouch for these individuals?
I can. Yes.
He looks over at his other guard. He says, well, I mean, that's 3. Let's do this. And he walks over to this desk and he writes up a quick, very just piecemeal together contract of I, Callan.
I'll put last name.
Yeah, he just put Callan S for anonymity, and then he says Mr. Kimar and Delstat. I want to say Delton because that's one of these. Delstat.
Velstat.
Velstat.
But it's not here.
So he writes all that out, and then he's like, well, if you guys all didn't have multiple names for everybody.
Yeah. Well, not only us having multiple names, but you having to remember every NPC's name. So
Yeah. Well, because he's going by Kimar right now instead of Bexley. And so
I'm having
it's
to use my human man name.
yes.
Yeah, I gotta remember we're doing this for diplomatic purposes.
Yes.
I gotta use the name that means.
No, that was smart. But yeah, so he writes out a contract saying that look over the 4 individuals, and then he writes a physical description of each of you, because your names aren't recognized within like legal status. So he just writes like a physical description quickly. You know, Azamar, crack skin, goes around.
Gets around.
Gets around.
Why does it say town bicycle?
I lean over to Varia. It's a small town.
This is why I told you we only do it in
Very-
marriage.
You can't fart in the wrong direction without the other end of town hearing about it. That's
Don't be
There are
ashamed.
worse things to be known for. I
He
guess.
doesn't actually write that. That was just me
He does nothing
being
wrong.
funny. So he gives physical descriptions of everybody, and then below it says, and by law, punishment of imprisonment and strip of all rank and citizenry, do you agree? And he hands it to each of you. I'm sorry, it has to be like this. Just, make sure if anything acts up, you gotta have someone to blame. They both sign, and Callan's like,
The blood that matters.
It's been a while since I signed one of these things.
And he takes it, and you watch just sort of the paper wrap itself up and just kind of burn from the ends in and disappear.
I cannot stress this enough, everyone.
I always behave.
There's a different level.
That dovetails nicely with what I'm about to say. And I know
But he
everyone
doesn't
here.
deserve a turkey leg for calling me a slave.
I know you
I
all
did
have
not
great
say that.
intentions. Please do not fuck this up.
Oh,
That's all I have to say.
Ooh. We got a curse word out of
My
Melicroft.
grandfather is not
It's because it has to do with
a
oral.
person to take lightly.
I will just remain quiet.
And my uncle will advise me to throw every single one of you under the bus. Don't be afraid.
advice?
I am not above taking his advice.
This is like my old job.
Cause
so.
trouble. Of all of us.
I don't have citizenship
I
to be
don't
strict
cause
anyway.
trouble. I cause exactly what needs to occur.
The problem.
Stated like a problem.
She has a hi, my name is the problem.
I woke up today and it's everyone's problem.
I am the one they want you.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay, so yeah. If all of the documents, well, the document's been signed, literally sealed, and disappeared. And the three of you, the 2.5 citizens, you all you all feel just for a moment, just kind of a little bit of like a pinch of your skin. It's almost like your skin gets tighter for a moment, and then it releases, and you feel that like that binding of like
Contract has taken
Yeah.
hold.
Yep.
Oh,
It's creepier when you're a kid.
It is very creepy when you're a child.
it's
Where are
creepy
you
as an
signing
adult.
contracts of a child?
Things you do as a citizen.
When
Well,
my uncle would travel, we'd have to
One
sign.
of the things I don't miss about being a citizen.
yeah, we're all bound by this agreement, so.
Well, now that that's taken care of, friends and guests, follow me. He opens up the door, and it's like this large Gothic-style door. Just like you hear, he twists one lever, but you hear 6 or 7 different mechanisms sort of. And then just the door opens buttery smooth, just like it's heavy. You can feel him like exert, but it just. And inside, you're surrounded with this echoed effect of every footstep you take, every step you take, every single move that you make in here
Wow.
creates this
And
echo
copyrighted.
of all of creates a this echo effect because the floor is all. You can tell that it was built into the mountain because it's this granite that is clearly a piece of the mountain that was cut and just flattened perfectly and beautifully. But it creates this really sort of cool acoustics within the room. And the militant guard that had let you in says, "Please wait here. I'll go grab Oros. He'll come down and grab you. While you're waiting, if you would like, across this way," and he kind of points towards this narrowed hallway with a lot of windows, like glass-stained windows. So throughout the hallway, you see kind of projected on the floor is different, like floral arrangements from the mirror casting light onto the concrete. He says, "Walk through here. You'll see this is our breakfast spread for the family. As guests, you are welcome to any food you see inside."
Is there a bunch of like pictures on the wall of the family?
Oh yeah,
Do I see my mother?
Maybe not on the right as the walkway entrance, but yeah, you would definitely see your mother upon some of these pictures with the big group of Talaries and with her sister and her mother. You might even be in some of these photos, to be honest. So yeah, kind of looking around, but every picture is beautifully framed in like a brass frame. But yeah, you guys have access to the buffet essentially while he goes to grab the historian lorekeeper, Oros.
Definitely gonna go eat.
Yeah, I figured you guys are all still hungry from all of the walking you did.
We all got the meat sweats.
Yeah.
But
I don't know what that is.
yeah, lots of fresh fruit, Yeah, on the street, nothing but meat. And here, there's more. There's like oatmeal, fresh fruit.
A nice continental breakfast.
Yes. Yeah. There's a little waffle press in the corner. There's a device with different cereals, and you can just.
I remember these when I was a kid.
Just mix them all.
Well, your family.
Call it a suicide.
Yeah, at least they have food.
Oh, well, I mean, they are a royal family, so, you know.
Still pompous, but got food.
You know.
Do you think all royals are pompous?
No, but
I
this
do.
one seems to
You
be.
do.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
When you grow up, usually every royal you meet or talk to.
Not all.
Does that make you pompous?
There was for quite a while, yeah.
You grew out of it?
Forcibly.
So you'd rather be pompous?
It's a bit more comfortable than sleeping in an old church, so.
I
There's
think
pros and cons to each.
That's true. I can do a lot more without worrying about how it affects the economy.
Yeah.
I think your church is quite comfortable.
Thank you.
So, I mean, it is now, but, you know, coming straight out of jail was.
Callan and I had to do quite a bit of work. I'm pretty sure when it was just Fairy in there, it was a straw mat with like a blanket on.
She now has a
I
bed.
had a couple of nice cats come and visit.
It was closer to a barn than a church at that time.
Well, there was no door, so it was just.
Very true.
We've made significant strides.
I didn't think it could look worse than it did, but based on what you're saying.
You know?
After a few moments, you guys chit chat about status.
Pompous people here.
A whole bowl of Cheerios. There's no damn on them.
You gotta specifically request it.
The cow's out back.
There's a little bit of a pause while you guys are waiting, and then you hear the footsteps echoing down that great hall, and then starting to fall towards that stained glass hallway. There's 3 individuals that approach. The first is the militant guard that went and grabbed all of you guys and brought you inside. Next, standing, maybe 3.5 feet tall, wearing this beautiful white cape that is flowing behind him, but this like golden, it's almost like a breastplate, but it's more just for decoration. But he's wearing like this breastplate with this white cape attached to it. And then underneath he's wearing just sort of tan and white, almost like a gown that goes down, but again, 3.5 feet tall. We're talking towel length. But you see this gnome approaching with these large spectacles that have different levels that he can sort of flip in and out. And as he walks up, they're all flipped up and looking at you, and his eyes are nice and wide.
As soon as Bellicross sees the gnome, the huge bow, just like very reverent towards this little tiny person.
And
I'll do it too.
And as you bow, like he starts to like utter this draconic like
And I will reply to him in Draconic.
Perfect. And then you just kind of both look at each other, and he just kind of gives you one of those like forearm handshakes, and kind of shakes your hand with both hands. The other woman joined, dressed in a peach and white colored gown. This is the Lady Teleri, Asana, who is the current head family member.
Matriarch?
Yes, but she is not. She is the matriarch, but the Duke would be the person in charge, but he's not here, so she's in his stead.
Interim.
I mean, she is still the Duchess of Mythfrost, but ow, you would know her on a personal level
Once I saw my grandmother, I would get up and go bow.
And then you would know her as well.
Yes.
But she is ageless. She looks, when you look at her, she could be 26 years old, but she could also be 300 years old. She has this poise to her. She just catches your gaze, and she sees you, and she says, "Would have never believed it."
It's been quite a while, Grandma.
And she bows to you, which feels weird, but she bows and she like pulls her arm back gracefully, and then she sees you. She says, "Oros, say hello to your old friend, Danae." As if she can see right through the metal.
Yeah.
Very Galadriel-esque. Like very, very just sort of like foresight.
For a second.
R2D2 when he's having a moment. And then the rest of you all sort of look at her and she just smiles faintly.
I give her a curtsy.
Yo, bow also.
Welcome. What can we do for you all, hospitality-wise? Are you happy?
Quite so, yes.
Pretty happy.
Are you wanting for anything while you're here?
The library. I like to read some books.
That can be arranged.
We have some business to discuss with
Yes.
Oris.
Yeah.
I would fill you in on Grandmother, if you have the time.
Of course we do. Do you mind if I sit in on that, or is that a private discussion?
No, you're more than welcome to join.
Oros looks up and he's like, "Well, is this serious news?"
Yeah, I would say that it is.
Follow me. She turns and just gracefully walks back through that hallway. I'm assuming people are grabbing stuff as they go, just, that final pour of Cheerios. She takes you up the grand staircase. As it wraps around to this balcony of the second floor that overlooks that grand entrance, she takes you into what can best be described as a war room. It looks like it's meant for large group discussions. There's a table there that's probably meant to sit about 30 people. So for the maybe 10 of you in this conversation, it seems a little ridiculous, but you're all at one end of this table. She sits at the head of the table. Oros sits next to her, and then everyone else can fill in. And she tells the militant guard who's been assigned, she says, "Leave us, lock this door. Do not open without my permission." And he just nods, doesn't say anything, just nods, closes the door. And you guys hear a similar type of locking contraption as the door closes. I'm just here to moderate.
Understood. Well, Oros, old friend, it's been quite some time.
It has. Far too long.
Literally a lifetime ago, I guess.
Yeah, for you.
Yeah, yes. I am here on, we're all here on, I guess, several orders of business. I guess the most pressing is the existence of a being called the Night Stalker. On his Valcor, I believe, is his mortal name. That's the individual that became the Night Stalker.
Please. Collect yourself.
We have encountered this individual in the Feywild.
Exotic.
Huh?
Exotic.
He's, I can't tell if he's working specifically with the Astral Brotherhood. Have you heard of the Astral Brotherhood?
Of course.
It's all leading back to this god Malice, who, from what I can glean from the conversations we've had with members of the Astral Brotherhood, Malice is trying to siphon energy from Freya I would assume in some sort of effort to undo his bindings or whatever kind of way he is sealed away. I think he's beginning to undo that, or trying to undo that, somehow using Freya's energy, which of course directly involves me because I was raised from the dead to defeat this astral brotherhood, or, well, forgive them, but that's a whole other story.
But it not explains the mental skin then.
Yes, and
Last time I saw you, mate, you were about my size.
not much taller. And with your gifts for the arcane engineering, I would assume that, I don't know, I have a lot of questions about this, but maybe you could help me with some answers on that. But as far as the general order of business, I'm supposed to be hunting down the Astral Brotherhood, which seems to be directly involved with trying to manifest malice in some way, I gather, from the way that they're desecrating fanes to Freya, one of which includes the one here in town. I'm sure I'm missing a lot of things.
Well, I mean, it sounds like it's quite personal for you.
It is. Well, in that regard. But Inari here is to the tune of 800 years old. The Night Stalker has a blade that was buried in her back by one of his ancestors.
Her arm comes out.
Buried
in her back by her sister.
Buried in her back by her sister, but his ancestor was involved. A lover, perhaps?
Still doesn't see why they wrote things down for you lower keepers to keep track of.
Well, let's. You've got to remember that I'm operating at like 25% mental capacity here. There is a society, some kind of society pulling the strings. I don't know if I'm in any danger of mentioning this, but the Noxus Society, from what I've been told. I would assume that they've got some kind of hand in this whole malice manifestation thing. A manifest destiny, if you will.
Asana sort of leans in. May want to be careful where you speak that name around here.
Literally everyone I've mentioned the name to has told me that.
It sounds like you've been speaking of it to too many people then.
Well, the only other person I mentioned it to was Shalane, who is another lore keeper, and turns out is in service to Malice in the same way that I am in service to Freya.
She's shown... Oh, sorry. She wouldn't be saying that. Yeah, she's shown quite the fascination with him. Something about the power and... I don't quite understand a lot of this between you and Freya and her and Malice, and it doesn't quite make a lot of sense to me, but hey, I'm fascinated with my gadgets, you're fascinated with your gods. Who am I to judge?
But we were wondering if you have heard any word about, and feel free to interject at any time if anyone's got any questions.
Well, I mean, my parents devised some sort of explosive.
That's where I was going.
I was waiting for you to like get to the point of
We don't care to meet orals.
Some sort of.
I was told not to talk.
Some sort of time implosion in the sand to some degree, and they created. They were able to take the ship, the vessel away for the. Can't think of your grandfather's or your
Elder King.
The Elder King. Their vessel disappeared through time. And that's something my parents, I think, worked on a very small scale, and somebody took that. Also, I have this foot from this woman that kidnapped my parents.
I forgot you had that still.
Yes.
Callan is like in front of my grandmother. Oh Lord.
And you can see, obviously, he's not been around such higher ups like this before, so Cornelius is a little different. But so I have this foot, and the foot, it's the person that kidnapped my
Okay,
parents.
if he can show the foot, I can talk.
And ultimately, the Astral Brotherhood is who this person was working for, I think. So whoever this foot belonged to, the boss of the person who this foot belonged to, might have something to do with that and the Noxus thing.
I was looking at my grandmother.
Just said
I'm
not
so
to
sorry.
Which we've been told not to say, but I mean, if everybody knows, are they like super popular here and they're like on the low? Or what's happening?
I'm not the problem.
Yeah, they say the non-citizens are the problems.
I haven't said a word.
All of this to say, a lot of loose ends regarding us individually seem to be twining together,
Is
pointing
there
towards
a
malice.
question in all of this rambling?
Yes. Have you heard anything about the wine?
told you everything.
The Elder King's vessel has reappeared. Apparently, we were in Redborough when it disappeared.
Suspicious.
Have you heard any news of mother-in-law?
It's a bit suspicious, wouldn't you say, that you were there when it disappeared and then when
We
you
were-
left it reappeared?
We were in the keep when it disappeared.
And keep when it reappeared.
No, we were in. No, sorry, we were in Mason's Row when it disappeared. Our whereabouts can be vouched for and tracked all through Redborough.
I'm trying to track down how seems to be some crossed ends here. What is your connection with the society exactly?
We don't know anything about it, to be honest. That's why we keep asking.
But how did you know about it to begin with?
I don't remember who told us. Who told us?
We were told.
That was
The very one, Shalane Argus,
No, we were originally told by somebody in the Undercity
the Undercity.
because
Shark.
our connections to the Astral Brotherhood.
Shark.
Yes.
Peter.
You know
He
Shark?
told us.
His name is Peter?
We knew this.
Yes, his name is Peter. And of course he'd be blabbing his mouth. Take what he says with a grain of salt, please. He cannot be trusted.
He told us to be careful, and there were people watching us from that society.
Never mind, listen to what he says. He knows what he's talking about. Peter is not allowed here anymore. Callan may understand such exiles.
Do I start making the connections?
Yeah, you
We knew
would have
this.
known. You guys know this stuff. This isn't. This wasn't supposed to be a reveal. I've told you before that he was Peter Tulare. He was one of the children. He was supposed to be one of the princes of Tulare, and
Yeah, it's my uncle. I don't know if I mentioned that.
No, you definitely didn't. But
No, Shark's my uncle.
Political intrigue.
Yeah. I only met him a few times before.
yeah, you would have never really met him.
Before I was an actual
Before,
adult.
yeah, you would. It was like childhood. Like he's been exiled for, like, well, no, it was before you ever. You would have never
Yeah,
met
so
him. He's
I've
been
got-
exiled for like 30 years. He's been in the Undercity since before you were born.
So.
But
that-
it is still. It is still.
That that's who he was.
So,
in the
we knew
family.
that.
Yeah.
so, but no one will tell us much about this Noxus society. And,
If I thought that was by design,
well, I mean, if they're coming after us, I would like to know
are they?
why. I don't know. If that's what we're being told.
if the Astral Brotherhood is working in tandem with them, the Astral
That's dangerous.
the Astral Brotherhood is they murdered me. I mean, and there's
They aren't the real concern here. They're
Yeah.
just mercenaries. They're just
What is the real concern?
that of which we've discussed not to discuss. The
so
Noxus
how do
Society.
we?
Do you understand what it is?
No.
Maybe you would understand why to keep your distance if you knew more about them.
Yes.
The Noxus Society are those that disapprove of the natural order of things. The natural order of government, of people, restrictions, and even that of life and birthrights. These are the most powerful people in all of Eudora, likely in all of Thaldrin. You do not want to be in their targets if they are coming for you, as you said, Callan. You are in grave danger.
That's the
The Astral Brotherhood, they're no more than militant that couldn't make it. You didn't have what it takes to be disciplined and to be legion. They should not concern you. The
So
Noxus society should scare you.
We don't understand why they're coming for us. The only connection we have
Yeah.
is the blade that we had for a while, but after that was taken from
You
us.
had the blade.
Yeah.
Pulled it out of her
we
back.
found it.
Well, the Noxus Society must have hired the Astral Brotherhood to fuck with him, to kill him, to kidnap my parents.
I still maintain this. I believe I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I just happened to be in the way when they.
When did it happen? Oros chimes in. When?
Well, it was a few months to a year after you.
Was it that relic? The old Fane, the one that I had asked you to go see.
Yes, you told me about the underground fane, and we were excavating it, and we had nearly completed our work when we were rushed by these Astral Brotherhood people, and I was slain right there in that fane. I didn't.
Brother, I am so sorry. I didn't know.
I don't think anyone could have known that, other than people inside of that organization. But I don't blame my death on you.
On his schedule.
Well, thank goodness. Because you're much more scary now. I've never been known as a fighter, but I definitely wouldn't hold a chance against this new version of you. Maybe could scrap with the old fella, but not this one.
A stiff breeze could have knocked me over before.
I'm stout. Asana's curiosity seems, and I will say, ignoring my facial reactions, she hasn't given any sort of. Her face has just been like the same. She's spoken, the inflection's super monotone. She hasn't really given any sort of extra interest. Even when she kind of leans in to speak in a more serious tone, it doesn't feel like. The only reason you know it's serious is because she leaned in. Like, it just still seems like she's just very poised.
She's hard to
and
read.
Very, very hard to read.
Okay.
Like, she's shutting out her, like, every feature that would give off any sort of, like, intuition or insight. Very difficult to read. But after Oros talks about the Fane that you were sent to, she says, well, if you all thought of what connection you all share, if any, or is it just happenstance that the same individuals that hurt you, killed you, were the same ones that Levi was here in role playing, were the ones that also killed this gentleman, or that would have kidnapped your parents? It seems like there's more connection here if you explored this.
We all had a vision back in, how long ago was that?
Yes, we did talk about that.
7 weeks ago?
Did you say 6 weeks ago?
No,
That
several
was,
weeks ago.
that was when we first met.
Yeah, we all had a vision
had
of
the
flying around.
We had the vision before we met you guys.
Flying around over a destroyed landscape with
Purple light everywhere.
Was it purple? I remember the word purple coming out a lot.
Yeah.
To give a reminder of the vision, you
We're
essentially
flying
were
around.
being it was
It was like flying.
it was destroyed rubble, fire escape, like essentially as if like a
Meteor
bomb was dropped in the city and everything was brought to rubble and smoke and ash, and you all sort of made eye contact with each other, and you saw a Nari with all 9 tails, and she started flying, and then all of you started flying as well and followed Anari through the clouds over this destroyed landscape of just fiery destruction, until in the distance you saw this purple hue, and as you got closer you realized that it was not just one singular light, but it was dozens and hundreds and thousands of pairs of light, and then that's all you saw in the vision as you started getting closer.
So I'll explain that to her.
Sure.
'Cause
Yeah, great job. Great explanation.
Yep. But so that kind of brought us together because we were working a job to find the now deemed Night Stalker's blade.
Oros. And he kind of chimes up. Danae. What do you know about... What do you know about the Pintorak? Is that right? Pintorak? The white mains? Is this ringing a bell for you? And Oros is like... His eyes go wide for a moment.
Would that ring a bell for today?
A history check. Since you're only at 25% brain capacity according to your roleplay, it should be a disadvantage.
So I've explained this before in character, but Danae was an order of magnitude more intelligent than he is in the suit of armor.
He substituted intelligence for strength.
And I did the same thing.
Cause yeah, his
It's an 8.
Okay, no worries. Oros knows. So you watch his eyes go wide for a moment. He says, "But yes, of course, but that's just, those are rumors. Those aren't real. Those aren't real beings. These are like half men, half beast. They're not real."
Well, Oros, we've read about this race called the Kitsune, which we thought were extinct. And we have one before us right now.
But this isn't a matter of extinction. It's a matter of them not being properly alive, ever. They did not die.
Yes,
They just
it's
went,
fair.
it's more rumors. It's storybooks. It's what they told. It's what we told the kids. It's what you told your children growing up.
I'm talking about fantastical creatures.
I'm talking about the white mains. I'm talking about the wolfen beings that can smell for 3 miles away. That stand 9 feet tall. That have claws that can rip through you with ease. And the white versions. There's multiple versions, as they say, but the white versions, they have glowing purple eyes.
Ah.
That does seem to fit.
That's interesting.
What
But
is
it's all, like I said, it's all just make believe. It's not.
A lot of things that I thought were preposterous are beginning to manifest before my very eyes. I think Caehanna was right just now by raising some doubts on them just being storybook creatures.
Is there any like histories back when my day and age of these creatures, or any run-ins with these, or any legends of these?
No,
Okay.
too far. You wouldn't know for 2 reasons. One, all of these rumors had started thousands of years ago.
Okay.
But 2, part of your like character's backstory is that you guys just stayed in this one spot.
Yeah,
It's
I
like a
just did-
haven,
I
so
mean-
you would have never like explored unless they came there.
Well, I think that's part of it. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we'll have occasional people go out
Yeah.
for resources and stuff. I mean, because there's,
Well-
but
We-
not much. There's
We had
not
known
much.
about the rumors, like us as just our players knew about rumors of those types of beings on. Is it? How do you pronounce it? It's not Morrison.
There's 2. So there's Maurician, which is the southern one, and then the other one is
I thought it was-
Sikaron.
Okay, yeah.
But
One of those, what was like rumored to have those types of like half human, half
creatures.
Sikaron.
Sikaron was okay. Yeah. The name is fine.
But no one's ever traveled there. That record shows. But it could be something that could be a coincidence. But once we start seeing wolven beings crawling through the night, I don't think it's much to really give too much effort and care to. And that's when Asana leans in and says, "You know, for beings that are so intelligent, sometimes you just cannot see with your own eyes, can you? It sounds like you all were selected. By what? I'm not sure. By who? Couldn't tell you. But you've been selected for something. A shared dream is nothing to brush off. Maybe that's the key to whatever you're searching for. Whatever they're searching for. Or stopping whatever they are doing. society seems, according to you, to be coming for you. I think the question should be why.
It's a good one. I think it's one all of us want an answer to because we're a little lost.
What did you do with the dagger?
It was taken from us.
Your lady friend.
Well, good.
It's not a
Not
friend.
Good. It shouldn't be in your possession. It's very
We
dangerous.
were made to surrender it to Lenora.
Not a fan of hers, just to be clear.
That Lenora.
We are familiar with Mrs. Aztec. The lady is a political gamble. Never quite sure what she's going to do. Probably not the person I'd want to have such a dangerous artifact in possession of.
I would agree.
But it sounds like you had no choice. A fight with her would not end well for you.
That's what I was told.
It was myself and Inari here. We were cornered.
Oh.
In Shalane's office.
Okay. What is your next move?
We have a lead on Cornelius's parents perhaps being located on Merician.
These are the same parents that created the device that you said was used against the Elder King.
The same parents.
Completely coincidental that you were there and then not?
Genuinely, yes.
I had nothing to do with it, first off.
Um,
And also, I never claimed to be intelligent. Those are my siblings.
Thank you for that.
we have
None of
also
us claimed you were either.
we've also been given a divine order from Aratok.
Thank you. I've been holding my tongue. I need to find Valcor.
I think that something we need to now add to the list is to go to Sikaron. Because if it is those beings that have those purple eyes that was in our shared vision,
You could be there.
he could be there.
Is he there? Do you know of this Valcor by chance? That's at the bottom of my list. That's not priority.
Valcor?
The dog?
No, your beings with the purple eyes.
That you were leading us to in the vision?
Yes. Aratok reached out to me. I have to do her mission first. I don't know if that vision is attached to Aratok. She didn't provide that to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with getting there eventually, but I need to do the mission that was given to me first.
As I said, Valcor is an end goal, and there are steps to getting to him. What is our next step to getting to him?
This is my next goal.
Speaking of,
The goal can be the goal. There's still lines before the
I'm gonna
goal.
laugh when Valcor is at Sikaron and he's just like, and those are all his minions.
He's just waiting around.
Yeah.
speaking of
We shall come
Valcor, and Malice and Freya,
I think that Malice is end goal.
my good friend here, and I'll gesture to Isadora,
No.
had the great pleasure, well, she and I both had the great pleasure of meeting Valcor, and it would appear, Isadora, that you made some kind of connection with, perhaps Malice,
Unfortunately.
and experienced a vision of some kind of, hypothetically speaking, to use terminology that a man of faith would use, something like a divine gate being dismantled.
That can't happen.
It's what they saw.
We say a lot of things can't happen, and yet they do.
Sorry, I should say, that has never happened.
It doesn't mean it can't.
What do you know about divine
Man.
gates, young lady?
Yeah.
What do you know about divine gates, young lady?
To be perfectly honest, I don't know much.
What
I
do you
just
know about
what they saw?
deities, divine, gods, primes?
Unfortunately, no, and that is why I'm in this mess of being connected to Malice in some way. Because I tried to fake pray. Apparently, you cannot do that. Men.
I think you're proving your point.
Just thank you for coming, but perhaps we should leave the conversation around the gods and deities and the gates to those who do know more about it.
Well, you wouldn't have known that I saw that unless we told you.
Danae told me.
I said we, and he wouldn't have known had I not told him this morning.
Can I have you please watch your tongue, ma'am?
I am doing so good.
I believe she meant the figurative watching your tongue.
I know you're not a citizen of this realm, but there's certain respects,
I was a citizen before. I do know.
and yet you're not now.
I am not.
I didn't know you were a citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you not now?
Because I died.
Didn't stop him.
Did we know this?
Different time, different conversations.
It actually did stop him. He got reinstated.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
We'll put a pin in that.
Yes, we.
In that song. We'll put a pin in that song that you're watching.
Well,
You guys just watch Oro's like frozen, like, don't fuck up, don't say anything. he's just like looking right at Danae, just like.
I know. So, me and my ponderings of the last few sleepless nights, that's a joke, I don't sleep anymore. I'm assuming that Malice is, like I said, trying to siphon Freya's power to destroy the Divine Gate, or maybe just whatever is imprisoning him. That's what I think is going on. I have no proof for that other than anecdotal evidence.
Okay, so if you think that's what's going on, what can we do to stop that? The halt. That maybe just. I know you're not going to want to hear this, but maybe if we just destroy the Fanes, so they can't submit any divine energy. I know that's not what you want to hear, but
It's
I have
not.
no problem with that.
if he can't get this power that you said that he's only getting from Freya, then cut off the ties.
I have a feeling that this particular group of people is going to stop at nothing to get that energy from her in whatever way that they can. They'll find a way to do it without the Fanes, I'm sure. Also, Fanes exist in other planes of reality, such as the Feywild, which is where we encountered Valkor. It seems to me that this is a matter of eliminating those bad actors that are trying to dismantle the Divine Gate.
So then our next step should be to track down major players of the Abyssal Brotherhood. Astral Brotherhood.
Did you really do it on accident again?
Abysmal.
It's Astral.
Astral Brotherhood. To find out information on more major players. If they're just mercenaries, someone is hiring them. And if they are acting on behalf of Valkor, perhaps that is the lead to Valkor we must take.
Certainly must kill more people of the oh fuck, I fucked it up. The whole time I was orchestral because it's close to the A sound. But, somebody's usually, good for a good killing to stop things from happening and fairy tales and whatnot.
Well,
Are we hoping the Astral Brotherhood will then lead us to Valkor then? Because that's going to take a
I
level
feel like
of
it's
not
the
just
only
I feel like
questioning.
it feels like that's the only lead at the moment, right? Like besides a vision.
They're the only attainable
Yeah.
lead we have, because the society is snap of fingers and we all die.
But you've said that you've met with one of them or a few of them, right?
the Astral Brotherhood, yes. And if they're the ones responsible for your parents disappearing, they may be around your parents. So one may lead to the other.
So maybe if you went to, I mean, do what you want, obviously, but like maybe if you went track down more of those mercenaries, and then maybe that'll lead you to
a hideout.
I really think that. I think the priority should be to stop Malice from getting around the gate.
I agree.
And if he's doing that through the faith of Freya, then I think that we should
How many
should stop that.
Fanes are there?
I mean, all over Alta.
Do you know how many there are?
I'm not quite the follower that Danae here is, but
You just
so
make
as
these
far as I know,
small,
there's usually one per major city. The occasional pop-up, but I mean, it's not the same as the following of Soul or some of these other.
It is not.
Can we assume this is in the hundreds?
Oh, I don't know about that.
No, it.
So we have more of a chance of finding members of the Astral Brotherhood than we would have making it to each city to then cleanse a Fane or destroy a Fane.
I don't know, I guess it
Well, the
depends on
Fanes
how
are
many
not-
Astral Brotherhood there are.
The Fanes seem to be a place that they would probably want to go, so the
Each-
Fanes may at minimum be
Where
a
they
place
shall be.
a place for us to look for people with the Brotherhood.
If anything, we can head to a vein and find one and maybe
Okay.
gather information to their hideout or the next location they may.
Or someone higher would be. And someone higher, someone
Potentially.
higher.
I mean, it's.
Melicroft, is your parents' Fane somewhere people might go from the Astral Brotherhood?
That's where we encountered
What's
I don't
her
know.
face?
Kira.
Wasn't her name Kira?
Kira.
Oh yeah.
Kira?
That's
Okay.
the Fane I grew up in.
Yeah.
So are you? Would
Is
you?
the energy still there?
Well, I
don't
mean,
know how you could tell that.
could you tell me if anybody made this foot? I know I won't let it go, but it is something that, like, when you look at it, I know it sounds dumb, but like in the story I wrote, it's like designed like a metal foot that magically follows the articulation of an actual like live ankle. So it's like incredibly articulate for metalwork.
I wouldn't doubt that Cornelius is asking legit questions.
Yeah, I mean,
All right. Go ahead.
It just
Besides-
sounds.
Yeah.
It just sounds funny.
Yeah.
Look at this foot.
But this foot.
Listen, I know that there's like this divine being, this primal hatred being that's trying to break, but look at the foot!
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if we're trying to get a little Astral Brotherhood insight, somebody must have made this for her, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Sure.
That's
Which
really-
means somebody far more advanced than herself, because my parents weren't certainly going to make her something after the fact. They couldn't have been kidnapped first.
That's good.
Boros here is a world class.
And you've mentioned him being
Yes.
some sort of thing, and I don't know.
I mean, I've never specialized in feet, but when I see it,
I don't
he
know.
takes it, he starts pushing things inside, and the toes start actuating a little bit. And it's like, oh, interesting that that's going to be more responsive to. And he just puts his hand inside the foot. And he's like using it almost like a foot puppet, and the whole foot is like moving with him. Interesting. Tossed it back to you. It wasn't me.
Quite unsettling watching this.
It definitely has some mark of a maker, but I'm not sure who it belongs to. And as he says that, he kind of like, I guess before he throws it back to you, he's gonna pull back one of the pieces that can kind of shift over, and you just see this like this K kind of engraved in it, and with this circle going around it, like a gas station. I'm just kidding. No, but it's-
Classical Western brand.
The
no,
circle
so
code.
it is a K with a circle around it. He's like, I don't think I know a maker with such a complex creation with such a simple mark. I don't know if this is the person who made it or if he made this for her. You said her name started with a K, so it could be either or, I suppose.
Absolutely.
Or maybe she carved it herself, because it, again, hard to tell.
What?
Your mom. Your mom has a K.
No, it didn't sound like
Kimar?
it. No, chemo starts with a Q.
Oh.
Yeah, you guys make it really easy on me.
Got it.
William.
William.
Don't know why.
Well, then, yeah, it would appear that our next move should be to track down members of the Brotherhood.
Well, that aligns with your main goal anyway.
It
And
does.
use them for information and then discard them.
Forgive them.
Tomato, tomato.
Did you say discard them?
I would ask one more question. I know we're not supposed to talk about the Noxus people, but is there any sort of dead tell or giveaway that they're on our tracks? I mean, the Astral Brotherhood has a mark that Danae can see, Melicroft can see. Is there any sort of like, we're waving a red flag, we're the Noxus people, or like, what are we supposed to be looking out for to know not to talk about them?
Just not talk about them, I suppose.
Well, I mean, if somebody's following us and they have one eye patch that's green or something, like that's the classic mark of the Noxus.
I should
It'd
tell
be good to know.
maybe I wasn't perfectly clear. It's not an organization of people. It is a few powerful beings that come together to
So
create
we
this
just end up
society.
hiring somebody else anyway.
Always.
Yeah,
The idea behind this society is that you cannot track anything back to them. And she leans in. I fear. I suspect, I should say, without any actual any accusation or legitimate claim, but I suspect that Miss Aztec is one of the members of this society. But of course I cannot ever go on record saying that.
No.
Definitely
The
not be.
people,
Already
the
said
people that can go on record, no one's going to listen to them anyway.
You would need inexplicable proof, which is what makes them so dangerous.
How strong is she?
Very. I witnessed something I didn't think was possible. From one person.
But it does not make her invincible, or it also I am not absolutely, definitely not telling you to seek her out. I'm more giving you a warning that those are the types of people to maybe be careful about. As in, when you enter a high lady's home, do not mention said society just in case.
Understood.
This was a safe place, but you can't always be so sure. If I was, you would not have made it out of this room, and my guards would have had to clean up quite the mess.
I like your grandmother.
She's great.
She's better than you.
Well, never said she wasn't.
Well, it would appear that we have a direction to move in now.
What's the nearest fane from here?
How do you plan to get to Merician?
That would be an up in the air situation.
I don't know why you're all looking at me.
Because your parents.
I mean, we could take a ship. I know that there are
I thought we were
airships. That was a bridge I figured we'd burn when we got to it.
Well, I could ask my uncle to see if he has any connections, but we're on the other side of the continent.
It just seems to me to be the most concrete
He would,
place.
he would probably have to ask a favor from the Moros and then owe them something. And he's not the kind of guy that has to want to owe a favor.
Well, the means of securing transportation we can figure out, but I personally feel that since your parents were abducted by the Astral Brotherhood, and all of a sudden we see their technology springing forth to disappear the Elder King, I feel that if we seek out your parents, we're going to find a major player either within the society or within the Brotherhood that can point us towards the society, which is why I personally feel that it would be very important to seek your parents out.
I'm not saying you're not.
I
right.
agree.
So then we have to make our way to Punita.
Whatever means to get to Merician we have, we should take them.
Well,
Mauritian's a lot closer to Sikaron than we are now as well.
My parents live in Owadane, the port city, in the southeastern part of the Planetary Kingdom.
Would they have means to get us where we need to go after?
I don't know that they would. They live pretty modestly,
I
but
mean, we can always hire a ship, I guess, or buy a ship.
but it is a city that I'm fairly familiar with that we could find a ship. I know that there are ships there.
You should not try to travel via water. The Leviathans
But I don't
will
know
destroy.
how to get to Morrison from the Feywild.
I'm not much of a spell person, but is there a way to pay someone to teleport us to somewhere? Do we have any?
You would have to have been there.
Oh shit.
That's, from
So-
my
Are
understanding.
there
So they have a sky
airships
ship.
available
They're very pricey.
There
close
are.
by?
There are.
Well, we're about to come into some means because of the work we just
How
did.
much does it cost?
Depends on who you know. Most airships are not a matter of spend, it's a matter of paying for a crew. Unless any of you know how to fly a spelljammer ship, then you'd need an actual spelljamming captain and a crew. So, here's what I propose. From what I've heard, it would be borderline treasonous for me to not assist. Because it has been brought to my attention that Mr. and Mrs. Kima seem to have a direct relation to the explosion that may have affected, hurt, or even killed the first and elder king. So with this information, I have two options. Turn you all in for investigation, which does no one any good, because I know you're innocent. This young man clearly doesn't know anything about what happened. Option two is we take the initiative. I can use this as a political gain to show my support for the Teleri family to take over as the next rightful heirs. Here's what we will do.
She was always nice to me. I don't know.
Jericho will approve. And if not, he'll have to deal with me. You will take our ship.
Oh.
And our crew. We will only charge you the crew rate of 1,500 gold pieces per day of travel. If this is within your means, excellent. If not, I can work out some sort of loan for you all.
How many days travel are we thinking?
No one's been. It's difficult to tell how far over the water it is.
Okay.
We know it's east, but we do not know.
Typically, it's a dark part of the map, I think.
Yeah, you guys technically cannot see any of that.
Right. Okay.
Is it Sikaron or Mauritian that no one's been to?
Either.
But
No one's
Oh,
ever been,
okay.
no one's
That
ever
side of the-
no one's ever landed made land east off of Eudora.
That we know about
People have
now.
only gone
But
north and
this
south.
is the one that has.
It's like a
Yeah.
no one's ever
Yeah.
returned, I should say.
Got it. Okay.
That's where the parents are. That's where the purple eye guys are.
Yeah.
Just a gap. Just a gap of knowledge. So
You may need a loan, depending on the
if you're
amount
able
of
to make this happen, you will potentially be heroes of the realm. If you're able to apprehend those responsible for the attempt on the First Lord's life, which in turn, using my ship and my resources, would look good upon me. So it's a mutually beneficial plan for both of us. But I need the commitment from all of you.
I swear it.
For the sake of my parents, I'll do anything to bring them back. And if saving the realm is part of that, then I suppose so.
Honest. Okay. If there's no objection, the ship is yours.
Thank you. It's very generous.
We will honor the trust that you have placed in us, and achieve results. That's all we can do.
You will meet here tomorrow at high noon to embark. I will prepare the crew, have them say their goodbyes to their families, and they will be prepared for you.
It's like what, 10 a.m. right now?
Yeah, you guys have all day.
Yeah.
You guys have plenty of time.
There's a couple. We have some errands to run, but we did have 2 young white dragon corpses that we were looking to.
First time you've seen her make a face was right there. What?
And a nice phoenix egg.
I wasn't going to bring that one up,
Keep
but
that.
Don't say that.
yeah.
Well,
I think-
he definitely already did.
I think we were trying to see if there was any sort of
I
monetary
think
value.
the egg is bad fucking news for us. That's all.
Are
I'm
you-
saying.
Are you looking
Or could be
to?
something we made?
You looking to sell? Are you looking
Or-
to?
That thing's gonna explode and kill all
we
of us.
don't really know if
naturally.
there's anybody in this town that has the ability to create something like armor or some sort of weapons from the Dragonite. Otherwise, a pure monetary value
Yes.
towards the boat is not exactly.
Redborough, or maybe even Drydale would be a better bet for armor than here. We are purely a militant station town. We don't. Yeah, I can't think of anyone who'd be able to work with such materials. You would be able to sell them, though. The traders would go wild
Well, then,
for such
do you know who
rarities.
we could trust to fetch a good price?
Me. I'd be happy to purchase. I'd need to inspect them first.
They're out at the stables, grandmother.
Assuming they're still there.
Did you leave the egg there, or the shard, as you said?
Whoops.
No, we did not. But we were not. We had not decided what to do with this group yet. With what to do with that item.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I'd love to go see the dragons.
Sure.
So she stands up, scoots her chair back. Everyone stands after. You see her sort of wave her hand over the door, and you see this like shimmering effect just quickly just kind of spread across the wall. And then she knocks, and then the door is open from the other side by that militant member. Lead the way. Show her your dragons.
I will take my very, very scary grandmother to the stables.
Is Boros coming with us? Or is he staying back behind?
Probably staying back. He doesn't have any interest in the dragons.
As everyone's walking forward, Melcroft will hang back.
Boros,
Hi.
I know that you're a gifted arcane engineer, and I was wondering if I could meet with you later on, perhaps today, to ascertain some sort of nature of what this new body is. I know that I'm able to incorporate armor, and I would assume other tools, and I'll do the thing where the gauntlet splits apart and reforms in my hand, and then I'll split back apart, and it goes back over the arm. So I'm sure there's more to this shell than I am aware of, and I would really appreciate your insights into whatever I'm made of now, to see if there's any, I don't know, latent abilities or something that I'm not able to comprehend about this body or make adjustments to it. I don't know. I would like some insight as to what I am now.
Yeah, I can't hurt. I have to give it a look. Give it a look, see what I can do.
We will go.
I'm just as interested as you are, to be honest.
Should I return this afternoon to go back over this?
I'll be here.
Okay.
I know where to be.
Well, then I will join my friends and I will return in just a little while.
Okay. So
That way we don't have to.
yeah, sounds good. So you all follow Lady Teleri out the front gate, and there's now at this point there's 2 guards sort of marching in front, just as a protective agent, and you all follow and start walking through town, and it's kind of cool. It's like a parade. People see the lady, and they cheer, they bow, they offer meats and things like that, and it's nice, warm feeling. I will say we're gonna take a quick break, real quick, so that I can go to the restroom and maybe get a snack or something. So
Till 4 to get any of our items.
okay,
No.
So
we're back.
We're back.
Oh my god, worst time to stretch.
Hi.
Okay,
Well, if we're about to have a journey to an unexplored island, we got some.
Yeah, we need to go see Jensen again.
yeah. Well, like I said, we have to wait till 4 to get our items because he does 1 for every hour.
Wasn't there a amulet of such that helped with me not getting hurt? Didn't you
Yeah,
get something
our money's
like
about to go to something else now.
Yes.
I want another one of those.
I just want to
Wait,
see
what?
Jensen smiling
She wants
face
one of
again.
what?
Like the amulet, the cold amulet that I.
Oh, the ice
that
heart?
I paid, yeah.
Yeah. I added that to your inventory, right?
No.
Are you sure?
No.
Let me triple check that. Now that you've said that.
Triple.
Because I remember I built the items. I think I added
It
the
wasn't
blade.
mine, it should be a
Oh,
blade.
yeah,
now.
the blade.
It's in your inventory,
Yeah, it's in
right?
my
Okay.
She's got the ice sword.
I do. Look at that. Nice.
Let me triple check.
Give him my
Okay, let me check the first
Yeah.
time.
Let me triple check for the first time, and it is you.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, it's me.
That's why it has a little R next to
That's what I
cold
saw.
now. That's weird. Okay. Now that I'm done being sassy,
That's never gonna end.
you follow the High Lady of Mythfrost. You follow Asana Teleri to where the horses shit.
Come, lady.
Hell yeah.
Come see where we leave our
Come, my lady.
belongings.
Come,
Come, lady.
An old man
You're my
Hicks,
dragonfly.
the stable master, sees the guards walking at him first, and he's like, instantly, he doesn't see the lady behind him quite yet. Instantly, this kind of older man's like, listen, they're not mine. They're not mine. I'll tell you, they're not mine. And then the guards spread, and it's High Lady Teleri. Your dragon carcasses are there. They're starting to go through the decomposition stages of rot and a little gross, but the scales are strong, the teeth and bones and all of that
Well, it's
are
cold,
there.
right? So it's delayed the decomposition process.
It's not that cold up here.
Oh.
It was cold up where you guys were when you guys went north, but you don't know if that was cold because of
Oh.
the weather or because there was a ice phoenix living there, creating a cold terrain in
You'd
her
be the only
lair.
one of us that feels cold.
I feel fine.
The egg. Okay.
I'm fine.
Oh,
No, I'm fine.
So
you'd be a fox foot.
she inspects them.
I get her.
You see her sort of like look through, kind of like feel along the scales, and she's like, "They're bigger than I thought." Okay. Yeah, these would be interesting. What would you want for them?
Melicroft's head will swivel to Fairy.
What if we make some sort of negotiation surrounding pricing for the crew? How many days of travel would these two get us?
Would one
Oh.
get us? Let's start with
Both of them, there and back, easy.
Yes?
I don't have a throat to clear, but I will be doing it.
It might be beneficial to have a bit of what do y'all call it?
Trying to say
Circles in our pocket.
Extra money.
We're also
The
about
money thing.
we're also about to go see.
A lady about some plants.
A lady about some plans.
We're going to have money either way.
The Enigma balloon.
This
lady.
also
I got
secures
that.
us the travel, so we don't have to use any of those circles for
I'm
that
learning.
This is more of a trade.
Yes.
My services for the ship, and I get this beautiful dragon hide. I'm sure I can make some astonishing clothing out of this. I'm excited. And of course, I get to help you as well. Everyone wins. And what about the egg? You mentioned there was a phoenix.
I think we're gonna keep the egg for now.
Can I see it?
It's a group decision.
No, thank you.
I'm sorry.
Let
me see it.
Just hold it for her.
Didn't we leave it back at the? Didn't we leave it back at the?
We left it at the. What's your place called?
This is not a smart decision.
Yeah, just hold it
take the
for
bag off of her.
Here's my bag.
Just
It's
hold
not
it.
being
It's
held
strapped
by
to her back, right?
Yeah, strap to your back.
It's in her tails.
It's in between her tails.
Just hold it.
It's in her tails.
Yeah, it's in her tails.
Yeah, it's in her tails.
You don't even know where it is.
It's in her tails.
You can't
I
take it.
thought it was in a bag.
Nope, it's in her tails.
She got tails, right? Like multiple of them? I think it's in her tails.
No one knows what this mission will entail.
Sit back as I
But,
move a tail.
You can just hold it. You don't have to give it to her.
Okay, I'm just gonna step back slightly from her and like to the side and have like it slightly like fold open so she can peek at it. I'm like 10 feet away from her. And then
She steps closer. As you do that, she like steps over and sort of, and I should have mentioned, she is fairly tall.
She
She's
gives tall girl energy.
yeah, she's fairly tall, so she sort of looks down
she's
at
got
the egg,
badass bitch energy.
and she
Yeah.
starts to reach for it, and then pulls her hand back. Does look like a phoenix shard to me.
And then she'll say,
I'd give you a 40,000 in platinum for it.
In platinum?
You see Cornelius go, that is
No,
the
thank
best
you.
steal I've ever
No, Inari. We found it as a group, so.
You know those little round things you enjoy so much? You could have we could crush your skull with the amount of round
I
things.
don't understand how much this is, but I like it.
Anari, do you want to keep the egg?
Listen,
Well-
Inari, it's a group decision. This is not your short egg.
What are you gonna do with it?
Well, incubate until it hatches.
I need to make it a pet.
I hope so. If not,
Good idea.
we would have
That'd
to.
be nice
If
for
not,
us
we'd
to
have to
do.
probably sell it into
The
beast trade.
capability of
Wait,
us
sell to
doing it.
what?
Throughout the beast trade,
What happens with the beast in the beast trade?
they're just handled by individuals that are much better trained to handle beasts than myself.
Listen, we can either take it on ourselves to train this thing and potentially die when it decides it's done with us, or we can get a load of money. I mean, a fucking metric shit ton of money.
Shit,
Is it?
Yes.
Out of character.
I don't wanna
40,000 total in platinum, or 40,000 platinum.
No. I said 40,000 in platinum,
In platinum.
not 40,000 platinum.
That's still a pretty
Hold on, let me do some.
a little less freaked out this time around. Because my brain was seeing 400,000.
I mean, that's 5,000 gold a piece.
A piece?
5,000.
Yeah.
5,000 gold.
Yes.
That's
Where's
not
the
very much to me.
Metagame pigeon?
It's going to be one against.
I can promise you, Levi wants to sell it.
Oh, 100%. I got it over there.
I
One,
can
two,
promise
three,
you,
four,
Michael.
five,
I know you,
six,
buddy.
seven.
He wants to sell it to you.
I would rather, Anari, here's outside of the money. I would rather, if we're going to be on the road and going somewhere very dangerous, I would rather somebody like Callan's grandmother, because that's really the only distinction Ferry is making, that this is a safe person. Callan's grandmother have this than have
Right,
somebody
brother.
else. Somebody else.
She's never in her life been called Callan's grandmother.
I mean, I would
Can
probably.
I loan it to you?
No.
No.
Sure.
Not gonna happen.
Sure. We can get it. I can get it back later.
Then we don't get the money.
Yes, we are.
I want a partial payment.
No.
That's not how it works.
We want the money.
Well, here's where I'm concerned is that I'm concerned that this particular phoenix is going to hatch soon. When it does, my own preference is that I'll be able to make a profit on this phoenix rather than it potentially destroying my airship mid-flight.
Inari, do you
And
remember
then me
how
being out around 2 million gold.
Inari, do you remember how the Phoenix died?
Mm-hmm.
The explosion, the ice shards.
Mm-hmm.
Explosion.
The birth is not dissimilar to that.
You know the one that almost killed me?
I wasn't completely upset about that.
Burn. I mean, cold.
Ice.
Freezer burn.
Freezer burn.
Freezer burn. Yeah.
Freezer burn.
This might seem, aside from the money, which I desperately want, I do side with Fairy as well as Callan's grandmother.
High Lady Tulare, please.
My
Like I said,
apologies.
she's never in her life been called
Yeah.
Callan Grant.
My apologies, and I mean that with the utmost sincerity. High Lady Tulare. That we should probably give it to, because we don't want that thing to be in any position. If somebody takes it, steals it, now we're out 40,000 in platinum as it is. A proper rearing for that particular animal is most important. Anybody who's been around children who knew guidance, I mean, a
We
baby
are going to
phoenix.
be selling it to later.
And it's an all or nothing thing. We're not getting it alone.
I would like to make one condition of contract.
Before you do, she sort of leans in. She says to you. She puts her hand on your shoulder and leans down. You can call me Asana when we're not in public, but around non-civilians. And she looks at the stable master. It's High Lady Tulare. And she like whispers, like that parent whisper in your ear, where you're like,
I just got admonished.
damn it, I knew better. You're not mad, you're disappointed. And she says, you can call me Asana or Callan's grandmother
Well,
outside of
I
public
definitely
access.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
I won't agree to this condition without hearing it first.
I figured that was the point. We got interrupted.
I will sell the egg to you with shard, but you have to promise me that this will be placed in good hands when you sell it yourself. I am of a beast kind myself, and I do not want this to be an enslaved or tortured situation for the
Are you familiar with the Phoenix?
No, not particularly.
It's the reason why it's so valuable is exactly within the reason why it cannot ever be in bad hands. It either isolates on its own, or it becomes attached to one person who they deem good. If anyone bad tries to approach this Phoenix, they will likely be killed, or the Phoenix will die in a rage. Seems like that's what happened with you all. And because of its nature, it cannot ever die. Killing a Phoenix brings it back to this state.
Oh, I'm not quite worried about it being killed per se. I've witnessed its cycle, but I do not wish for it to be tortured or used in the wrong hands. But if what you say is true,
It will. If someone tried to torture a Phoenix,
You want this now? I'm sorry.
I'll get it in a second.
I was wondering what was going to happen today.
I was looking for a place I could just discreetly put it.
If you look to torture a Phoenix, it will fight you until it dies. It won't submit. And when it dies, you've seen this cycle. I don't know if that makes you feel better,
it
but
does a bit, actually.
a Phoenix is one of the few beings that has a personality directly related to the goodness of others.
And y'all want to get rid of that.
To someone.
I'm worried. I am genuinely worried that certain traveling companions of yours, plus I can't attest for everyone on the crew of my ship, would be deemed good within the Phoenix's eyes. If it hatches, it may not attach.
I mean, considering we were there in its last moments.
Oh, I wasn't planning to be the one to take care of it in the first place. I was going to give it to you, actually.
Oh, that's nice.
but
I would not do that.
I'd like it.
Hey.
Not.
I'm a nice person.
Apparently too nice from what I've heard.
God.
it's already gotten up to Lady Tomato.
And I'm out
A
of
fly doesn't fart
I'm
in
kidding.
this
I'm
thing
kidding.
of
She would not have heard that or said it back to you.
Yeah.
We were woken up at night with a town crier.
This is the new Kill the Kid. It's very put down.
The guy's just
Outside
bragging
our
about
home,
how
it
he's
gets
been his
around
next
town.
beautiful lady.
No,
He's planning y'all's wedding.
That would have never. That would have not gotten to her. It's there are those within you that the phoenix may attach to. It's just I feel like it's high risk, and I'd prefer it in hands of those who knows how to deal with beasts. And again, I can't stress enough how much the investment of my own personal ship means to me.
No, I understand
Because
that.
if it is
I would
destroyed,
not want it to be destroyed as well.
I would be out a lot of money.
We might be in the middle of
and of course the mission may be at jeopardy and fail, which is obviously of utmost importance.
Understood. Would you like it now, or can we trade hands when we collect the ship?
We'll trade hands when we collect the ship.
Understood.
I don't carry around that sort of coin.
Okay, we have a deal.
Perfect.
Like y'all were gonna let me do it the other way.
Now with 5,000 gold.
It's been a full-on PvP.
She's been excommunicated from the group. Tristan, work on your next character.
So, what are we doing now? The guards are now like picking up scraps of the dragon and like throwing them over their back and like hauling them out. Probably close to like 11:30 noon. Around that time, you guys were in the castle for quite some time.
Potions lady?
Oh, yes.
Potions.
Potions.
So, you go back to Potion Lady. And do you remember how many
What it's worth? No.
no, how many Enigma blooms you guys collected?
Around a dozen, right?
I think I got 2 or 3 dozen.
2 or 3 dozen. Okay.
Y'all pretty much
no,
tried to
Hold
get
on, hold
us
on, hold
left.
on.
He wrote it
He wrote it
down.
down.
One of them.
80 to 100, she's right.
Damn.
Perfect. So, you guys go back to you go
I was gonna say 96 is 8 dozen.
Yeah. So
you
we're
go
saying
back to
96.
Agatha's, and she sees you all, and she's like, "Oh, thank you for coming back. Do you have good news for me?"
Very.
We do.
Love to hear it.
Also bad news is we don't know what happened to the guy.
Yeah, we don't know what happened to your previous courier, but we do have quite a substantial amount of nickel.
I am both concerned and elated. I would love for him to be found. Of course, I don't expect you all to be a common occurrence to deliver these to me, so I thank you for letting me know. I'll keep my eyes out for him. But as far as the bloom goes, how many do we have? Oh, you drop on like the bag full of
I'm just pulling out of the bag
flowers.
holding.
One by one.
73,
You wanna make it
74,
easy.
75, 77.
I'm willing 96 of them in my hand.
8 dozen is 98 if we're in between 80 and
96.
100. Sorry, 96, yeah.
96 is 8 dozen.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
I was saying we could have 7. I'm just trying to make the math easy.
yeah, just the math easier as close to 100 as possible.
Yeah.
Appreciate the consolidation there.
Please.
Oh, I thought she said she bought it by the dozen.
She does. It takes a dozen to make a potion.
That's
So,
not in the dozen.
um,
It's only
so
eight.
we'll say you guys are able to give her 7 full dozen of these blooms. And she told you that each dozen would pay back 2,500. So you did have a retainer on some of the potions that you had. So in total,
Okay.
it would be
17,500 for just the cell.
So that would give us like
If I'm gonna be the money man, I better be the
more.
money man.
That doesn't
So
sound-
I don't remember what all the retainer potions, because I bought all the health potions straight up. I did that out of mine too.
Yeah, so the retainer was $1,000 gold piece retainer for the Enigma Bloom. So she had already. It doesn't matter now since you brought it back. So she takes that off of the total. So she gives back 16,500 in coin. So platinum, gold, just an assortment of coin that equals 16,500.
It's 2,062, man.
What's that?
Is that for all of us?
2,062 apiece.
2,062 gold a piece.
Yep.
That's
Plus, you
including
guys
that,
also
right?
found 14,287.
Yep.
Um,
Oh, we did it.
We already put that up, yeah.
okay, just making sure.
Thank you.
Do you still have all that? The money? The gems? and the-
2062.
No, we I just went ahead and assumed to divvy it up.
Okay. How much was that last time? Do you know
I did it for you. There was $625 worth of gems. And then 14,287 divided by 103, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
That's 1785 in gold and silver coins.
So I
For the,
don't know.
for the first time. She didn't add
Oh, she didn't have the
So how much was it?
first
How much was the first one?
So the first one was 1785 in gold, $625 in gems, if you need diamonds or whatever that. Whatever. 1785. That's pure gold weight from the hoard.
Okay.
And $625 worth of gold value of gems.
I would like to add, with my new spell that I have, I would need some diamond.
I'm sure there's some in there.
Yeah. There were.
We prevent that from being distributed, so
Yeah.
I use that
Your
We
coin
said that
amount
last
and
time,
gems
too.
will be diamonds.
with just
Yeah.
pure diamond for me.
Then we'll exchange. Everybody will exchange probably.
Yes.
To some degree.
No.
How much of that is diamond?
How much of what is it?
Oh, from the jewels and gems you guys found, we'd say you probably had around.
Because the total that before was 625 times the 8, so 4,000.
We'll say that there was, of all the jewels and gems, from that total amount, we'll say that there's about 2,000 gold pieces worth of diamonds.
2,000. How do I do that on this thing?
You may have
It's
to
not
add
really
that
a
under
diamond thing.
items or whatever.
I just didn't add the gems to mine at all. So,
Well, we're trying to figure out
Well,
how much for the sake of.
right.
I'm assuming she has Revivify.
Revivify, yeah.
Maybe just add diamond.
And then, as far as I know, you didn't prepay for the arrows or anything, did you?
No.
Alright.
So, but I had enough to pay for that. I was just going to be down to 0.
Well, I prepaid for her armor.
I'm not sure.
Whose armor?
Yeah. Hers. She only had 280 and it cost
He knows.
like 500.
It was what, 1785 for the first one?
1785 in gold value.
Yeah.
Plus another $625 in gems.
Um,
As far as Cornelius goes, he probably would have just sold the gems for pure value.
well, how much?
So I just added that as gold.
The 6
I don't know.
Sorry, can you repeat that, Shade, on how much I had in diamonds?
2,000.
2,000. Okay. I'm just gonna say.
2,000
Just know that
GP.
you have 2,000 there.
You could put it in like a note.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm gonna put a note.
Oh, because they were.
That was the Phoenix stuff. We sitting pretty.
Well, we have to wait to get that.
No, I know. Once we get it, I mean, we're already sitting pretty.
I'll be honest with you, I really wanted to rear Phoenix just so I, like, it would be funny if Cornelius was the one there. Like, the hugest dickhead that's fucking, I have a Phoenix tomorrow night. That kind of stupid shit.
I mean, I never thought I'd keep it because fire and ice aren't compatible. But I always thought that
Well,
she would get it. 'cause
That would
That's,
be
that would be the great
That
irony.
would be dope.
the
That would
irony
be,
of it.
because you would be fire and you would be ice, and you guys would be like,
Yin and yang kind of
Yeah.
scenario.
Yeah.
Well, I just
because then you
think
could
we're-
fly, but she could pick up a,
How
well,
much
he or
should
she,
that's
whatever
gonna
the
be, so-
thing
Oh, yeah, I
is.
was thinking
Could pick
The
up
only thing I
the
can think of now that I really need is
2,000.
a magical weapon and something to sleep in.
Luckily for me, I have all the
The
price of the
actual
healing
Jensen.
potions because we might as well take her entire stock of superior.
Jensen and Lewis.
Oh, I guess I could have asked my grandmother that.
What?
If she had any magic weapons I could borrow from the family.
Well, we're still gonna
You mean
visit
these
her.
gauntlets with spikes on them?
Oh, yeah.
That have rocket grab
I'll ask her
technology?
when we meet her back at the Phoenix.
Okay, so let's go back to the.
$1,500 a day.
And
Man,
then
that
so how
shit
much
should be able
did
to
we
get
get
that back
from
reasonable
this
time.
encounter?
2,062.
2016.
Because she had mentioned once before it was like $2,500 for certain classes on an airship.
I mean, do we
It's
really
like, I'll take the
need to
Leonardo
say that?
DiCaprio class of airship.
Steerage.
Yeah. I'll take the Titan experience with. What's that sound?
Okay. We've got money.
On the starboard
We
side.
got money.
Hey, 5,000 more tomorrow.
I know. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
So, you get your money from Agatha.
Let's blow it
You get
all.
all of your potions, which, as a reminder, let me go to what those were.
I have none.
7 regular, 2 greater, 2 poison resistance, 2 cold resistance.
So, how do y'all want to distribute that?
Poison resist.
Didn't we already distribute those?
We already
took
drank
care of.
those.
yeah,
Those
those
are
are
gone.
Okay.
But I would say, you know,
The cold ones.
Who
I
had
don't
the
mean to buy
resistance?
all your stock, but what kind of superior ones? Those are 500 apiece. How many of those do you have?
At the moment, I have let me see. She looks up and she's like, 4.
I'll take them all.
Would be 2,000 gold pieces. Ka-ching. And now you have 4 superior potions.
I'll take one for myself and give the 3 to you guys.
Who?
To
Oh,
you,
okay.
Melissa.
The
A
original,
superior?
Yeah.
the original plan.
Well,
3 strikes.
I would, no offense to the rest of you, but he's probably going to stay alive the longest. He gets beat up to hell, and she's standing next to me at any given time. So if I go down, she could easily just pull that bad boy right in my mouth.
I just need all of you
Yours
to
is
remember
superior,
I
right?
go down. I can't bring you
So it's
back
all
up.
strategy, yeah, superior.
And how much are your standard healing potions? Standard and greater.
Yeah, regular and greater.
The standard, I'm trying to remember what I said last
I
time.
got it for you.
4.
Standard regular healing is 25, greater healing is 100, and superior is 5.
How many greater do you have?
About half dozen.
So 6.
I will take all of those.
Honestly, if it's D&D and you get a chance to get healing potions,
Bellicroft will distribute them among the
Okay,
people.
but we do need
Alright.
to be strategic about this and think that these are the 2
Well,
front guys
so
I'm also a
and you.
out of character, Bellicroft is hard to kill, and he can run up and stick one in your mouth and
Yeah.
heal you,
Yeah. So
or pass them out.
Also, she made a good point. Like, she's gonna be able to like bring us back to life. So if she goes down,
well, no, that just means like I don't really need one because obviously, but I just need to make sure that y'all.
It just means we be strategic about who we bring back first.
Yeah.
Right.
okay.
Always
So-
me last.
Exactly.
If anything, I do not
Did you
need.
say always you first?
Me
No,
last.
him
Oh. We're gonna be doing
So-
a lot.
You go down a lot.
I mean, he's got a combination of rage. He's got.
I mean, yeah.
But he also has a combination of making himself the biggest target
Well,
in
that's
every.
Well, and it's true. Like
That's the reason you go down.
That's
so
the
much,
reason I
because
don't
you're
matter
out
what
there,
they
yeah.
do.
Well,
Yeah.
character-wise, Bellicroft and Feria and Cornelius would probably heal you first, though, so that's the other thing.
I did it in the last fight. I gave him some.
Yeah.
We need
And
the
then
you
close
do something,
combat
'cause I
approach
can't.
are these 3 to make sure they can
That's
all
why I need to
heal.
upgrade
Yes.
my weapon.
Would anybody like to purchase some of the regulars?
Sure.
I would say, yeah, sure.
How many regulars you got?
Say 10. It's probably 10. So
5 and 5.
We'll take them all.
I figured.
Great,
Yep.
yes.
Yep. 10 regular, 25 a pop.
You guys realize that he's just gonna bring the heat every fight we have now. You got healing potion?
That's the point.
Yeah.
Let's get that XP,
I
baby.
mean, didn't y'all use like all of them this last fight?
What?
Didn't y'all use all of them this last fight?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, you got knocked down real quick.
Well, I got knocked down
That
first.
was 2K ahead. of
Fire
what I
blow
was
or
doing, so-
ice blow.
We gotta move on our turn, people. Okay?
Did
I
it
was trying to do the
continue
whole time,
first?
and I rolled a one.
Avoid the clump,
Yeah.
Avoid the clump.
unless you're next to me, and now you get pluses to your saving throws.
Whoa,
Very
Oh, yeah, I
edge of
love
your
that.
clump.
there's
Yeah.
Junior Baconator.
Yeah, Junior Baconator. I was gonna say, what was his name again?
Crispy bacon.
Son of Baconator.
No, Hogsmeade Jr., right?
Hogman.
Hogsmeade.
I don't listen to that one. It's
You're a wizard, Harry.
Son of Baconator or something.
Cody, come up
It
with
is
something
better.
really clever and make something your own. That way you can put it to rest.
Saw.
The next time that healing spirit pops out, it's not going to be a little pig.
That's a cheeseburger. What else would it be?
It's gonna, yeah, it's gonna be a cheeseburger that pops up.
Also, whatever character you play in campaign number 3, when we eventually get there, I want him to have a sign that says, everybody but blank touched this object. It can really be.
I didn't even touch an object this time.
I know, but you somehow find
You mentally touched
you
the
somehow
object.
fall your way into the darkness.
She does it. There's like a do not do.
It's pretty impressive.
She does it.
She said,
And you,
I
and you
fake
can't,
prayed.
and you won't be able to tell because my eyes are already blank.
There's a guy murdering children in this cathedral, and you're like, well, I would like to fake murder, so you become one
It's
of
not really murder.
Yeah.
He's never
He's
intent
not
by it.
really murdered.
And they think I'm the problem.
And then to Jensen.
To Jensen.
Jensen.
No, it's a full PM.
Well, maybe-
I have a newfound confidence with dealing with Jensen now.
Why is that?
We got a lot more money.
Got money to spend.
Money.
Right.
Make my own money.
I'm learning how to use money.
Isn't it great?
I don't know. I kind of prefer it when it's free.
I think everyone
It
does.
wasn't ever
It wasn't.
free.
There's no such thing as a free lunch.
Hey, all the food's free.
Okay, that's true. The food has been free,
Yeah.
but that's because it's festival time.
All the alcohol is free that I do not partake in.
That's just a
the
Brizignamen thing. That's all the time.
She
That's
does.
not just harvest.
I know, but she doesn't know that.
That's year round.
Right now, everything's been free. So is my beautiful hairbrush. Thanks, Cornelius.
What did I do?
Find me a hairbrush.
Oh yes. It's the finest of a unicorn hair. Whatever. I was gonna ask if Caehanna wanted to pay me back, or if she was.
I was gonna ask for the money back and give it to myself.
I'm not paying you back.
287.
Something like that.
Damn. That's my
Take away 287. Actually, well, I paid for the whole thing.
Oh, you already paid for it.
Yeah. Well, I'll just call it at the moment.
Okay, I was paying. Well, I already gave you the money.
Love you.
You might pay for it, which
Oh.
means we pay back for all of it.
Poor Levi. He's gonna get
I wouldn't.
SOL out of this.
Yeah.
He gets money.
Yeah, he gets the money. He
He's
wants to buy
coming in
anything.
fat stacks.
He got
I mean, he was
bullets.
here when we talked to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still gotta pay for the garage.
What are you doing over there?
He's probably pulling up.
He's
the-
pulling up the
Everything we
items
bought.
we're about to bombard him for.
I wrote down the prices of all the.
He's probably looking at new items because God knows we're about to ask.
Oh, I
what else do you have?
Jensen.
What can you get me in 12 hours?
Belkoff's marching through the streets.
It has to be ready
Jensen.
immediately because we have to
Jensen.
be there at noon. So
Tomorrow.
tomorrow. That's
Well,
what
I mean,
It has to-
technically-
he has to be able to have it ready by noon tomorrow. So.
I mean, I will say
Would hope
this.
there's
I
some
said it would be
express
4
for
o'clock
you.
today.
No, I know, but if we do anything else.
Oh, true, yes.
Well, I'm just saying now we have an airship that we can use whenever because we've given 2 Dragon Sport. Really, we can only whenever one.
Well,
Sorry, guys. I'm back. I was trying to pull up all of the items.
Yeah.
So,
I just expect them all, but
you guys still have a few hours before Jensen had mentioned it would be done. If you want to check in sooner, you can. But
I'm not here for
I'm
their
gonna
items.
add to the list.
what's that?
Yeah, I didn't buy
I'm not here for their items, yeah.
I need more.
Well, some
We
are
want
already at
new
1,
items.
some are already at 2, some
New
already at
toys,
3.
new-
Oh shit! You're trying to get new shit?
Yeah.
Guys, you're killing me.
We're about to go to a different continent and have
That's
to
fair.
do shit.
this
for a
dude's
while.
working overtime. He's like, I don't know, the quality may be bad. I don't
Okay.
care, new toy.
Okay, so
We're paying as
are we
much
going to
as-
Jensen's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And then we'll go back to the
Yeah.
yeah, so we all go to Jensen's.
Jensen.
What was the shop he owned, like right next door?
What's
Yeah,
that?
He's almost
What was the
done.
shop there? He was like right next.
There was the
door?
armor shop and then the weapon shop, and it was the same shop. It just had 2 entrances essentially. It was like connected in the back, but they were
You could
just
probably ask him at one shop for your thing, because he got
I
armor.
think we could buy it either from both.
Yeah. Just a single window that opens up one side of
No,
the
he requires you to leave the building and go next door.
So you guys
What's the best
arrive,
part of the
and
armor that kills
just
people?
like last time, it is not busy. There's nothing on the walls. Right, it's just kind of like you walk in and there's a kind of a shelf / desk. As you guys all walk in, same thing. Young human looking teenager, comes around the corner and sees you all. He's like, "Oh!" And he looks down. Hi.
Jensen.
Yes, that's me. What's up, guys?
I would expect you to be hard at work getting together the products.
Yeah, I was, and then I heard someone walk in, so I came to check.
We were just wanting to perhaps check on some other items you had available.
More.
Yes, more. We've recently
Come into some money.
we've experienced a windfall, and we are about to be gone for some time, and would like to make sure that we are prepared on our journey.
Okay.
Poor child.
He's an adult.
He's an intern.
He's an intern.
I've been working on everything else. Pretty close. Got most of everything done. If there's new things, then that might slow down the process. But what are we looking at?
Why don't we ask what he has immediately available?
What do you have immediately available?
Anything pre-made that's been sitting on the shelf, so to speak.
No. I mean,
Is it just that ring you
That
have?
ring.
yeah. Part of my internship is that I create and enchant it myself.
He's an on-demand man.
I would like an amulet or a ring that would get 1 moment, dinner break.
Just for the fat cat.
And there he is.
He has a shop cat with a magical food dispenser.
You created that
We
year
see a
one.
black cat.
That's what got him into the program.
That was his thesis.
Oh, I would imagine the cat being decked out in armor that he's been practicing on.
It's a mechanical cat, actually.
Do you have an amulet or ring of such that will up my AC?
What was that?
Shade.
Not really. I don't have anything like that.
Don't you already have armor on?
Yeah, I had.
I need more.
Hope you two are okay. Sorry, no, I don't really have anything like that. Sorry. I can make you one, but it would take me, maybe a day or two, but I wouldn't be able to get it delivered to you by the current deadline, which is like 5 p.m. today.
What number are they marked?
We need to find a new.
I would assume anything we're ordering today would be picked up tomorrow.
Can I pick it up tomorrow at noon? Or before noon?
Before then.
Before noon?
Like 11:30?
He said a day or two.
I don't think I can get that done that quickly.
What if I put in a rush order fee? Additional charge.
I
All
don't know if
night.
you know this, but
Well, it's not like a money thing. It's just it requires certain enchantments that have to take, and I can't promise that it'll take that quickly. That's sort of out of my hands, literally.
I don't like that answer.
What do you have in the way of, I don't know, weapons that could stab a little better? Say if I wanted to stab a ghost.
Huh?
What?
Or something that, has resistance to a mundane blade.
Croft, are you haunted?
Yeah, where's this coming from?
Yeah, are you a ghost?
Oh, I'm sorry. I encountered 2 dragons and a phoenix yesterday. I would like to make sure I'm prepared next time.
Well, dragons and phoenixes aren't ghosts, no problem. My confusion is no less by your explanation.
Melicroft has already died once. He just sees ghosts everywhere. Sixth
Wrong
Sense style.
campaign.
I have to get wrong campaign.
Me, Cora.
Gotta we were there for that one,
Why are they all children?
I see dead people again.
Get one.
Your Cora's
Well-
reincarnation.
How much you need to get same timeline tomorrow by noon?
Yes.
Preferably.
Yes.
You guys are making it difficult.
I feel very
I-
bad for this kid.
I don't.
When would be feasible to have it done?
So I have an idea.
Okay.
How much does that idea cost?
See,
First, let's
everyone's always so concerned about the money.
I'm concerned about your future, Jensen. I want to fund it.
work.
Listen, it's so Are you familiar with the divine connection between like deities and people?
Of course.
Am I ever?
Speaking
Well-
of the guy, yeah.
Well, certain owners of that sort of magic are able to wield a certain blade that I've been experimenting and tinkering with.
Is that so?
It's called an oath keeper. Are you familiar with it?
I am not. Please elucidate me.
It's a two-handed great sword, essentially, but it has quite a heavy hit behind it, as if you were able to pull power from the gods itself as you made contact. It's gonna hit a gosh darn harder than your mundane blade, I'll tell you that.
Perfect for Callan.
If you were interested in something like that, I could try to make it.
I would be interested in that. Can you do it in the flavor of one-handed? I tend to prefer to have a shield.
I think that just depends on how your strength, but you probably could handle it one-handed.
Well, in that case, sure. What would that run me?
$72,000.
$9 million. Exactly 2 white dragons.
And maybe
Grandma!
or a phoenix.
Or a phoenix egg. I'll catch and deal 1 phoenix egg.
So it's typically only used by the highest priests.
Of course.
It's
You're really stoned.
it would take me a little longer. I think the problem is not the price. The problem is the timeline for you.
Uh-huh.
Might be both. Actually, might be both problems. Because it would take me about a month working on it every day to make.
Or you could be dead by the time you get it. And then he just takes the money and sells it to somebody else.
Or it could be a game.
One of us can get it.
What do you think about that? What was that ring
Listen,
again? That's
regardless
in
if
stock?
you die, I'll come back and
What's
get
that?
What was that
Okay,
ring
guys.
that you currently have in stock?
It's the one that holds the spells.
Yeah, the spell storing
That
ring.
was going to be like
Is it
$12,000.
still here?
It's 13.
13.
Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't one in stock. That was just he mentioned he could make it.
No, it wasn't stock.
There
You said
was,
You
someone didn't come and pick
no,
it up.
the one he
No.
had in stock was like an armor or AC like
You got it.
ring,
Yeah.
ring of
For the ring of
Yeah, someone did give
Oh,
us.
okay, okay.
It's a
So,
ring of protection.
there you go.
yeah, the other one was 13,000. That's the one I was looking at too. I was like, that'd be really nice.
I mean, as much as I love your toys, I doubt he's going to be able to pump out anything by tomorrow.
Oh
We
yeah.
can always ask to purchase from my grandma. The Celery family's been around a long time.
Maybe she has something.
That blade does sound very interesting, but I don't know if I have a month to wait before we go.
Considering tomorrow at noon is not a month away.
Well,
So
not
very-
that.
I have been practicing with Dunamancy. Maybe I could slow and delay time. No, okay.
What could you have ready tomorrow at 11:30?
Give me a list filtered by
What could you have
Ready
ready
tomorrow.
tomorrow?
Filtered by
10 a.m.?
items.
filtered by Prime.
I
Prime.
hate all of you.
I'm hungry.
I'll narrow it down. To
I can make a few things that I'm very proficient at. I can do a cloak of invisibility. That's one that I can do pretty quickly. It's a pretty simple enchantment. Now that I've got it figured out. I can do a wand of like magic missiles, which is fun. Just be careful who you point it at, because it can actually hurt if you do it enough times.
Believe it or not.
And then, I mean, I don't know how useful it is to you, but I can make like an alchemy jug. Those are pretty fun, but I don't think that's like a weapon or anything that you're looking for.
I've got drunk of a few alchemy.
How much is the cloak of invisibility?
A cloak of invisibility would be about 7,500 gold pieces.
I thought we had money.
Which we would be able to afford tomorrow.
Yeah, I know.
But he'd have to be able to create it.
Well,
Well, I guess we could pay him.
Pay them tomorrow.
well, I
A
have
half
that
and
by
half
tomorrow.
kind of deal.
You'll
Yeah,
have,
you got that.
you'll have
We'll
five,
definitely
you'll
have
have
that by
5,000 by tomorrow, yeah.
Okay, I'll get one of those, please.
Okay. Any particular cloak that you want me to use?
I know nothing about cloaks. Hey, Mr. Fashionista.
I like to think of myself as a fashionista.
Okay, whatever that means.
I mean, a cloak's a cloak. I mean, what goes around your neck, you can either have a half cloak, which covers your side, much attuned to the fashion that I wear. Reversible, same with mine, red and blue. You can have a full one, like Melicroft. It's huge. As well as Caehanna's. And you hear like ocean sounds here. And there's nothing much to it. I mean, you won't be able to see it. It's a cloak of invisibility. So it doesn't matter what it looks like. I'm assuming you want one that's full, so that way you can cover your whole body.
I mean, you would be able to see it.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming there's some sort of activation component to it.
Sure. Yeah, you have to activate it.
So make it as pretty as you want to. It'll disappear eventually.
Okay.
All I know is I didn't realize I needed a fireproof one until I met you.
You're welcome. Keep you on your toes.
Appreciate it.
I'm trying to remember. Hold on 1 second. I gotta look something up. Show you.
How much for an alchemy jug?
Yeah, do that.
Those are pretty inexpensive. Only about 250 gold pieces.
I'll take one of those.
alchemy jug?
Just you get wasted on it.
Yeah.
Huh?
To me, I'm like, we could have drinking contests in the avenue.
Well, no, but like it can produce oil, it can produce
Yes.
water,
Yeah.
it can produce fresh water,
Produce mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise and milk.
mayonnaise, milk. So it can produce things that we might not think is good at the moment.
You
But
use it to eat and stuff. Like if you wanted to, like, sounds weird, but mayonnaise is high in fat, and you technically eat it. But
Is this that alone shit that y'all are bringing up right now?
no, this is.
With the high fat quantity?
I'll take one of those. I'll have one of those ordered.
Okay. Yeah, that's easy. I can get that by the time you guys come back for the rest of your stuff today.
Awesome.
The arrows, the flame and false arrows. How long does that take?
A day. I can get those tomorrow by 2-3 o'clock.
Well, just because we're meeting
You got
at
your
noon
blade.
doesn't
Yeah,
necessarily mean we have to
okay.
leave.
Do you even have a bow?
Yeah,
Oh.
how long ago?
You said 250, right?
you have a longbow or a crossbow?
Okay,
I both.
2 questions. First question.
Denied.
Second question.
Also denied.
I know that you're enchanting an armor piece for Caehanna here that is lightweight.
Yeah, the mithril.
Do you perchance have an entire suit of plate with those properties?
No.
Well,
Remember the beginning where he said he didn't have anything pre-made?
I mean, do you have enough plate armor to enchant it
Make
with
that.
that property?
Well, I don't know if that's an enchantment much as just like.
I need the material. I need the material. I need mithril. I don't have that. I'm assuming for your size, right? Is what you're asking?
Yes.
I've never seen that much mithril in one place. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but I've never seen it.
Accepted.
I can.
It's a pretty fair take.
I mainly do like chest plates or maybe chainmail, but an entire plate armor set would take hundreds of pounds of mithril.
Okay.
Cool.
Not saying it can't be done.
I guess we'll keep an eye out for that.
And just a low-level weapon enchantment. Say, if we're rating it on a tier of, let's say 1 to 3. If I wanted my sword to stab, let's say 1 better.
Have you tried training?
can't stab any ghosts yet.
Maybe that's what you can do while we're on the ship. His character practiced dexterity on the ship.
I did.
His big barbarian just.
During the travel day, yeah.
Yeah, that's all I did.
Okay.
Or maybe an ancient tome, perhaps of leadership and influence.
We can talk to her.
We used that last time.
Yeah.
How does it
Let's read that bad boy for
He's not going to have anything ready for us.
Well, if he can do it in the chair. If not, I'm not going to press that. Those are my 2 questions.
You're not?
Those are my 2 questions.
Alright, if you could do a plus a low level sharpness enchantment, then by all means.
Well, here's the thing. If you leave me your sword, I can probably get it enchanted. One better. But I can't promise it'll be able to do anything else besides just make it a little bit better. Maybe sharpen it a little bit more. Provide a little bit more of that magical quality that I think you're looking for.
Typically for the purposes of, let's say overcoming resistances to normal weapons. Schlink.
I can do that.
How much would that be?
$72,000.
$9 million.
Or 2 dragons, or.
I'm just going to talk to Grandma.
Oh,
Talk to Granny.
500.
Oh, easy.
Let's do it.
Okay. Done. That'll be tomorrow by 2 o'clock? Noon.
Well, we need to meet.
We need it by 11.
We need to meet.
Yes.
We need to meet at noon.
So we need to pick up by 11:30, if at all possible.
Just because we're meeting doesn't necessarily mean we need to leave, does it?
If I don't take any more orders, then I could probably get that done.
You have 9, correct?
The cloak?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How much does it take to convince you to take no more customers for the day?
That's what I was implying.
Okay.
If I don't take any more orders, then I should be able to complete that.
Cool.
So what he's saying is leave him alone so he can finish his work.
That's not what I'm saying. No, you guys are great, but I am
hold on.
using time to speak with you that I
I
could
was
be
going
working.
to say, before we leave, what year were you at Hartmore College? This 3rd, 4th, 5th year? Were you?
Hartmore, I'm Mattencore.
Mancore, I mean, sorry. In Hartmore, Mancore Academy.
I'm currently there now.
Well, I mean, is this, are you a year 3 or 2?
I am actually a year 4, so this will be my final year before graduating and going into the real world.
Ah, fantastic. I was just going to ask if you'd ever heard of my brother Alvin or my brother and sister Deborah and Elrel, and if they had any sort of general rapport around the college of being good students or anything.
What's your last name?
They are Kimars, much like myself.
Yeah, I know the Kimars. I mean, not know them. They're a little more popular than I am, but I know of them. Yeah, they're.
Well, you have a little bit
I
more,
said shade a picture of
a
one.
little bit more pull than yourself, I would imagine. But I was just trying to make sure that they were very studious, and I'll just be honest, Davaro isn't seen as a kind of a dick around campus.
Oh.
And Elrel
No,
is
he's
well
great.
spoken of.
He's definitely not a. He's not a mean person, or he's never been directly mean to me or anything.
I figured that was a problem.
No, I'm saying he's not. He's a great.
Listen,
He will be a great guy.
You don't have to say anything to me. I know how much of a prick, and a brat he can be. But
I wouldn't say anything mean about him.
don't worry. As an older brother to him, he doesn't fuck around when I'm around.
He doesn't in my presence either. He has always been really great to me.
Okay, I get where you're going with this. So, you say all percentage of proceeds go to Mancore.
Any profit. So I don't make any direct money from anything that I do here. So that's why we sell a little
With
bit
my brothers and
cheaper.
sisters in mind, I know how expensive it can be to be an intern here. Putting your blood, sweat, and tears into these items. I don't know if I can keep it from them, but I'll take out some money. Pretty handily some. Like For you personally, on top of your normal profits, you don't have to send this, but for your work to maybe close at 10 for the day to get this done for us.
Make a persuasion check with advantage. Or, I don't think you're trying to intimidate, so we'll go with persuasion.
Second roll of the session.
Natural 20 and 18. So
Damn!
that's plus
He's-
a couple.
He's gonna-
Used to bargaining.
He'll take it from you and look at it. Say, how much are you giving, by the way?
It's $1,000.
Okay. He'll look at it and then look back up at you and like, I've never seen this much money.
It's for you to enjoy. Also get these items done, but also to learn to relax.
I wish I knew how. If the other Kimars were more like you,
Well,
it would be a great place. I mean, they're great, but
I can't speak for my uncle, which I'm sure you might know as Dovath, but I am.
he makes his
Kima-
presence known at the school.
I'm a Kima and a Bexley. And as far as that goes, Bexley's,
Like the professors.
yes.
I'll get those done for you.
I appreciate it.
Meet here by 11 tomorrow. I'll have them done.
Sounds amazing.
I do have most of you guys' stuff done. If you want to take that now.
Yeah, sure. Take what you have.
So the things he's gotten done, he got Levi's bullets done. He has Feria's plate mithril armor and your arrows. So the 50 regular, 25 fireburst, 25 seekers.
Perfect.
Callan, he's still working on your gauntlets. Caehanna, your plate mithril is complete. Cornelius, your boots of elvenkind and your different arrows of the frost and flame are complete as well. Yeah, I think that's the only thing he's still trying to complete is the gauntlets. Everything else was done. Where is Melicroft? Oh, your ring of protection. That was on site. You got that already. The ring of protection.
Was a +1 to armor, right?
What?
To the AC, +2 to AC. Okay.
What do you?
What did you ask?
Mithril armor.
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah, look up plate mithril
think-
armor. I don't know if it was +2.
That's fine. I'll look.
I
I
think,
think
plus.
it's just the stats of the armor, but if it were heavy, you wouldn't have disadvantage on.
Right. I don't think it's a plus anything, to be honest, or else it would have been way more expensive.
Do you get a breastplate, half plate?
It's 14 plus your dex modifier max 2. Okay.
So it's just it raises the base up to 14.
That's what I was thinking.
So
Push back to +2.
Base plate is, a breastplate is already 14. I think you just don't take.
well, that's what I'm saying. But if you didn't have a breastplate on and your AC was a flat 10,
Oh yeah, that's true.
then it would have been raised up to 14 plus your dex mod at that point. And you don't create disadvantage, which wouldn't. I don't think that even matters.
No, not with a breastplate.
Yeah.
But like a full, hypothetically, a full set of plate armor.
Are you trying to take down poltergeist, my man? I'm like looking for one to take
I
some
have
ghosts.
literal demons I need to.
Yes. I'll give you that.
And then Shade, I sent you a picture. I don't want the waterfall cloak, but I want it to look like that for like Aerotox imagery.
So
and
you
then
go ahead
on
and
the
whip
back,
that
up?
I
Oh,
want
shit, cool.
I want her symbol in the back.
Looks like a whale tail.
Well, I think that too. I don't know if it's what it called me.
Doesn't that look like a whale tail?
Huh?
Oh, okay. My brain went like the urban
So they
dictionary.
call it-
word.
No, that's why you use
Yeah.
that
Well,
phrasing.
no, it's not, I'm not wearing that cloak. I want it to look like that.
Oh, you want it to look like that.
I'm getting the invisibility cloak, but I want it to look like that to rep Aerotalk and then her symbol on the back.
Okay. He's like, oh, wow. I can't. I don't know how to do all. I'm not like a seamstress. I don't know how to do this design that you're thinking of. I can do a blue cloak. I have blue fabric, but I don't have that sort of skill set.
Are you able to at least stencil in the symbol in the back?
It will be my first try.
You know what?
You
I
may
will
be
give
able
it a
to-
shot.
You may be able to take it to Nisha, and she could change the look of it by keeping the properties. I mean,
Nisha went to Matincore.
You know Nisha.
I mean, most people know Nisha, but she went to Matincore. She's a graduate. She's an alumni.
she may be able to keep the properties but change it up later.
No,
I mean, you might get
mandatory.
rough.
Well, we don't know when we'll get to her, so we can make the blue cloak for now. Do your best with the
I'll do my best.
stenciling.
I'll do my best.
Okay.
Okay.
M-I-T-H-R-E.
Callan, your gauntlets will be done in the next couple hours.
That's fine. I'll pick it up all.
Or
pick
he's
it
like,
up tomorrow.
do you want me to just pick it up tomorrow with
Yep,
everything
I'll
else?
Pick it up all tomorrow.
Okay.
You get back to work.
Perfect. Well, everyone, did everyone pay for all of their stuff in advance?
I'm
I should
handing
know.
Took it all out.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I'll give you the.
Do you need me to remind you what it all cost?
It was 600.
I personally paid for it in advance.
I
Pay for it
will.
in advance.
I will pay it tomorrow.
Okay.
And Millicroft paid the 500 for his sword.
Got it.
A lot of trust in this D&D beyond right
I mean, yeah.
now. I mean, if there was a receipt, I just went down quite a lot. So.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that Davros is still being a fucking bully.
You created the character as a bully.
I know. I created it that way.
I don't like that this guy that
Exactly
I gave
right.
personality traits to is doing exactly what I told him.
I gave all my siblings personality traits for a reason.
All right.
He pays ahead of time.
So, what are you guys doing for the? Sorry. What are you doing for the rest of the evening?
It's really loud outside this tent.
Do we have plans for us, maybe?
Oh, as you guys leave the tent, you notice that he shuts the tent behind and like wraps a rope around it, and it looks like he's closed down for the day.
I went ahead and paid him off so that way he's dedicated for the evening. Those people get nothing when they go to the academy.
With all the hard work he's putting in.
Yeah.
1,000 gold would go a long way for him to keep it closed.
Well, that's appreciated
Help us all at
It's
this
a good
point.
idea.
by him.
Very good idea.
Yeah.
So, what are our plans for the rest of the day?
Well, I would like to take a pin out of that tongue you were watching. In regards to you, have died?
Oh yes, I have that.
What a
before.
weird way to go back to that.
Yeah. Because that's how I put in it. 'Cause she was watching
Listen,
your
if
tongue.
there's
I
anybody
put
in the
it
group that says
No, it works perfectly, but what a weird transition.
I
I like to take a pin out of your tongue.
that you're watching, yes.
Yes, I died in the Feywild when I was a child.
Yeah. I need more.
Wait,
Elaborate.
actually, you know what it is? She was a citizen, which means you were here. You found your way
Yes.
into the Feywild as a child?
Yes, I am from Owadane in the Punatera Kingdom, where my parents still live. But when I was a child, me and my little brother went there, and
You just stumbled upon the Feywild.
mhm.
How did you
Just
find
fell.
that?
we
portals you fall
kind of
into?
just fell through a portal that was near our home.
Do I need to look now?
No, you can tell it's
It's usually a big shimmery gate.
it's exactly what it is. It's very shimmery, and I was very enthralled by it. And so I went and got my brother, and we went.
Oh, so you didn't just fall in. Okay.
Yes. So, it wasn't my first time. It wasn't my first time in the Feywild that I died. It was, I think, my second or third time that I died.
So why are you alive now?
Devin, the same person who killed me, brought me back.
That small ass.
Wait, he killed you?
He did.
Why?
So I could come back and be one of his followers. I don't know what they're called. Pack.
What?
A warlock?
You have pact
No,
magic?
no, I just mean like
Warlock.
when someone has a
You have a pact
patron,
A
magic.
warlock.
That's a patron. Yeah. You're a warlock.
one of
I
their
mean, he is your patron. That makes
Yes.
you a warlock, yeah.
A follower, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't want to use the class.
Oh, no. Is this one of those situations where, like, Levi made a deal with him and then he killed you? Then you were able to do magic? Were you able to do magic before?
Well, no. So he did give me Eldritch Blast. That
Yeah, the big boom bowl.
Yes.
The energy ball.
yes. He did give me that before I was this. I did not look like this before. I was a
Did
half
you
elf
look-
before.
Oh.
Yes. With deep brown skin.
Can you look like that now? You can do the change.
So I'm gonna change. So I'm gonna change into my form, but what you'll see is that it is a dark brown skin tone, but she is like covered in vitiligo, so she can't
fully form.
I can't fully go back to my form.
Why?
Can you fully take on other forms, but not that form?
Yes.
It's only that specific.
I cannot go back to my normal form. My form from before I was a follower of Divin.
I'm gonna repeat. Why?
Punishment? I don't know.
I didn't ask
No,
you.
He basically said that in order for me to become my new form, I would have to die and lose the old form. And so before, you know, he'd given me this power, the dead, which I had selfishly used to take revenge on a being in the Feywild, and then I came back and he had offered me more, and I think I just became lustful after the power that he had given me before. And I did not know the extent of what my new form would be, but I died a very painful death.
How did he kill you?
I'm sorry?
How did you die?
Oh, it was not like a stab, it was not
More
a
specifically,
hit.
she just asked, how did he kill you?
I did.
Oh, he did. He did kill me in order to bring me back.
Like she said.
I don't know. I just remember my bones breaking and me forming into something different.
Well, you also said it was for revenge.
Sounds
Did I hear that correctly?
Huh?
It sounds familiar. Stretch her wing out. It's all like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was not fun.
Why did you have to die, but this one over here didn't?
I don't know.
Well, he still looks like, well, one, I don't know what all the powers he got from Divin, and, you know, Divin probably does things a little bit differently with everyone, but I don't know. He changed me into this new form and gave me the ability to look like anybody that I know. And I'm gonna start just like kind of changing into like Cornelius and Feria and you. Just like kind of going through and transitioning into all
Lady
of you guys.
Teleri.
Yeah.
How old were you when you died?
I think I was about 13.
I think you're quite young to make that decision. Where were your parents during this whole life experience and death?
They were at home, but
They sound irresponsible.
our relationship had changed a lot because in the first time that we went to the Feywild, my brother was killed, and they blamed
And you
me.
went back?
Wait,
Of course I did.
who killed your brother?
A Mabra.
Oh,
It was
what?
a centaur in the Feywild, which is why I got the dead in the first place.
So that was the person with which the revenge was based on.
Yes. So I went back, killed a Mabra, and that is when Divin approached me again and asked if I wanted more of those powers. And I accepted.
Did you feel better after killing him?
That's a counselor question right there.
Yeah, I sense that energy right away.
I
Very
think
question.
I think I did. I
He
am.
wants to kill people.
That's why she's asking.
Yeah, I think I did.
A good revenge
I
killing
don't-
can clear the sinuses.
Yeah, I don't know if.
Really?
Post-revenge clarity.
I don't know. My brother was taken by these tree people. He was taken by
Fuck
these
them
tree people.
trees.
That's why we light them
No.
on fire.
That's why I did not care.
Fuck the trees.
And their roots came from the ground and they took him under. And it was all at the command of the centaur Navra.
Well, you don't really know if your brother's dead, then. I thought my parents were dead. You never saw them die.
But it's been
15 years?
40 years,
Who could
Well,
still
time's
do
different in the Feywild, as far
I
as I
guess.
understand.
40 years in this
Which,
plane.
this
existence.
round time?
It could be. You never know.
So then...
I would love to find some sort of sign that there is some sort of closure there, like as morbid as it sounds, remains of some sort. They sign.
Burn all the trees in Feywild.
I feel that
Caehanna might
as
hurt
well,
you.
I suppose.
You could try. That's fine. Plenty of
But
people do.
Is
I don't-
Caehanna secretly a druid and just doesn't know it?
I think she enjoys anything about her homeland.
Yeah.
That's my homeland.
But I think that I'm grateful to Divin for my abilities, my power, the way I'm able to change into lots of different things and people. But yeah, that is how I died, and I'm now alive.
So at what point in time did you meet her? Because you guys were together when I first saw you.
Quite shortly before we came to the portal back here. Because I hold a home in Moskeep in the Planetary Kingdom, just southwest of Owadame. And then I also hold a home in the Feywild, right outside of her village,
We
of
talked about
Aberdeenshire.
a month ago, a week ago.
How long have we been together?
3 weeks.
That's all?
it.
Holy shit.
I'm thinking for you two. You guys are together,
We
right?
talked about that.
A few months.
So,
So a few months. We've known each other before we met you. I know it probably seemed like I was from there, based on how I look, what I do.
I don't know if I've ever met someone who can change into other people.
I'm changing to you again.
God damn it. It's also creepy. Would you mind changing back?
Yes.
You would
I
think
can-
you'd
I
be
can-
used to multiple users.
I can do that with anyone that I know. And I'm gonna like change in. Where are we at? I'm gonna change into
Maybe tell me
The
how-
queen. Or
Jensen.
Oh.
I'll change into
Jensen.
Jensen. I'll come back. I'll change into the high teller or the high lady tellery.
I could really get us into some trouble.
But can
It's also,
very get us into
but it's
this.
very useful.
Yeah, are you doing this like where are y'all at? Like outside the
I
shop?
figured it was right outside the shop. I
Oh,
instantly.
I thought we were still
I
inside the
figured
shop.
we were outside the
No.
shop. He said he
Yeah,
closed
we're-
up.
Because he closed it behind.
So we're
Oh, right,
I
yeah.
guess we're probably walking
Part of me was
towards.
like, just find a bar and sit.
It was
for
quick.
2 hours.
You guys can go back to the meat hall.
I mean, yeah, we'll probably have this conversation as we're walking to the vehicle.
Watching Furia trying to like make sure she doesn't see this.
Scarf
Oh my
around.
god, that's him.
Doesn't care. Okay, we'll
But yeah.
talk about the birds and the bees later.
Yeah.
we don't need to. We're fine.
I don't think
Oh.
they. I don't think
Oh,
those
and
two
Ari
dudes-
wants to. Don't worry about it. Doesn't have the talk. I'm older than you.
So, what are we doing?
I guess we're officially the meat hall.
Like going back to the meat hall.
Melicroft wants to split off at some point to go back and talk to Oros.
I'll go with him because I want to go back and talk to Tellery.
I want to go to the library.
I mean, I figure I also want to see my family one last time.
Yes, I will make my way back to Prison Goblin.
Making his way.
I'll make
But
a small talk with commoners in the meat hall. And
I just want to stop off and talk with Oros for a little bit. I will be back. I don't plan on taking the rest of the evening to do that.
Okay. He goes back to Oros. The rest of you, meat hall, meat hall,
Meat hall.
meat hall, meat
Meat
hall.
hall.
You're going there.
I figured I'm not welcome there.
Yeah, bro, get a
considering
tissue.
I'm a
Y'all-
problem.
I mean, y'all guys are still like in mid conversation, so I could have broken off.
Sure.
Well, I probably would have.
I don't care about how you died.
He just asked where we were and what we were doing. I was
So you
just
broke up in the middle of my
mid-conversation.
story. In the middle of my backstory.
he's got demons.
You know, it
She
was
said
probably.
through all of your backstory.
Yeah, wow.
well, I didn't ask for that to happen.
All of his backstory, which takes a long time to explain as Melicroft. He talks in circles.
Yes, I want to hear it.
It takes a long time.
I know you gave the plants pretty quickly. I was impressed. Oh, yeah. There's no conversation good there.
Okay.
But yeah, cool. Let's go to the
So
mall.
those who go back to the meat hall,
Let's go drink about this.
you guys have fun, get drunk,
Yeah.
have a good time.
We're gonna go eat.
Lots of good food.
We're gonna talk.
Those going back to
We're gonna talk about procreation.
Or the lack thereof.
you all, the other three of you, go back to the castle. The guard who was there earlier is still there, recognizes you all, kind of nods and kind of gives way for you to walk past. Do you need me to grab anyone for you, or are they expecting you? I guess I should ask.
Oros is expecting me, yes.
I'm not sure if my grandmother is, but I would like to speak with her and spend some time with my family. Okay, cool.
I was told I'd go to the
course.
library.
He kind of like leans in discreetly. Of course. And young lady.
I was told I could go to the library. So that's all I need.
Absolutely. So he leads you all inside, and he says, "Okay, let me grab Oros for you. I'll check on High Lady and then the library. Okay. It might be best for me to take you there, so you don't get lost.
That is fine.
But give me a moment as I go get the Artificer." So he walks up the stairs, and a few moments later, Oros comes down, but the guard doesn't. And then a few moments after that, Lady Teleri walks in with the guard. And then as they all get down to the bottom, the guard leads you down like this labyrinth of hallways. It'll make sense once you get there, but it's like this labyrinth of hallways, and you are taken kind of like downstairs, and then it opens up into sort of this large kind of cozy. It's almost like a cave, but it's windowed. It's like a cave. It's carved into the rock. Everything in here. Even the bookshelves are carved into the side of the rock, and so all of the books are kind of laid on. There's a lot of very similar to this, like lots of like draping, vining plants. But this part of the castle is facing. So as you guys all came in, there was a really, really big bridge, right? So as you crossed that bridge, it was this gap to this river underneath. This is built into the side of the mountain that goes down below where the city is. So you're looking out at that river, and you see, so you see they call it the Treve Bridge. So there's the big Treve Bridge, and then there's the river. So it's just like this beautiful spot. He's like, this is where it's the best place for peace and quiet. Just listen to the river, enjoy yourself. Please don't take any books out of this space. If you need, and he shows there's like this system of bells on the wall. It's like if you need assistance, pull the far right bell. If you need to get back to the front, pull the far right bell. If you need food, drink, coffee, tea, anything from the kitchens, pull the left bell. Don't touch the middle ones, or else you'll disturb people in their rooms. They won't know what's going on. Okay. Have a good time. And he turns back, kind of gives you an about face, and like marches off. Asana, Teleri, and Callan, is there anything you're looking to like talk with her about, or do you just want to sort of like be with her for the evening?
I mean, the majority of that, I did want to ask if there's anything that I could borrow from the family vault for this trip as my
endeavor. It's a bit.
But also to like more of like I can imagine Callan getting down on his knees and like apologizing for what he did. And
I assume you guys have gone up into a
this is more like at dinner or whatever.
So yeah, you and her have dinner in her quarters, and it's during this conversation when you try to get down on your knees, she like stops you. She's Callan. No. We've all done things that we aren't proud of. Unfortunately, you are currently paying penance for yours. You don't need to apologize for me.
It was. I couldn't
especially
control it. It just. I don't know why.
That young man could not be controlled either.
No, he couldn't.
The things he said about my daughter, your mother, should not be spoken.
No.
Does not make what you did just. You should not have done what you did. But it is done. Do not need to worry yourself over it. Pay your punishment, as you've been. You will forever be family. You just might not have the same rights until you've served your time.
Fair. That's fair. But this journey to where are we going again?
Mauritian.
Mauritian.
She leans in and said, Marisia.
Yeah.
This
journey to
Grandma, you know, I never did well in my classes. How dangerous is it? I've heard tales and rumors, but
Possible to tell. When it's unknown. It may be completely docile. The danger may just be in the journey.
Sorry.
50.
The danger may just be in the journey there. Once you get there, it could be completely uninhabited. It could be completely safe. I think it's better to prepare yourself for it being dangerous, though. It's better to be prepared and not need certain resources and skills than to show up realizing you really wish you would have.
and he'll pull out the glaive, and Mother gave me this. She said it was from this side, but unfortunately it is taken its toll, and as I learned against the dragons and the phoenix we fought recently, it is not as adequate moving forward. So we tried to look into purchasing something from a young fellow named Jensen in the marketplace earlier, but with our timeline, there's nothing available. So I was wondering if I could purchase something from the family vaults, if capable.
I'm not sure if I'm permitted to do that without Jericho here.
I mean, that's fair as well.
I've never been one for combat. Everything in that vault belongs to him. And even though I have forgiven you, your grandfather is a little more traditional, and
Yes.
I worry he would be more than disappointed in myself, and I'm already going to have to explain why his ship is gone.
That is a conversation I
It's
would
his-
not want to be near.
It's his favorite ship.
Well, when does he bid to return?
Weeks. He went to Redborough for the return of the Elder King, so I'm assuming he'll be back in the next, hopefully a few days, maybe a week. He did not give me a return date.
Fair enough.
All of the dukes and high lords were requested to go to Redborough to see the king. I hope I've sent messages to Jericho, but my hope is that this summoning will elect a heir to the throne from one of the other families besides Shazera.
Who is favored? Do we know who is favored at the moment?
So unsure. I would hope your grandfather, but unfortunately the family ties end with him on the male heir, as Peter is not fit. So I'm concerned we might be overlooked. That's why this mission has to be a success. That's why you must be able to prove that you stopped whatever or whoever is responsible for this attempt. And what was their purpose? From what I heard, it disappeared and then reappeared. Why? What happened in that gap of time?
It was gone. We went to the.
I realize I'm asking more forethought questions. Questions that we need to be thinking of. Where did it go, if it went anywhere?
Do
How
I
long was it
remember
gone?
what the ship looked like when it came back? Like it was beat up, or was it?
Not really. I mean, it
Just
looked
looked
like
like
it was a little roughed up, but didn't look like it. Didn't look like much different than how it typically looks. It's much bigger than any other ship you've seen. But other than that, yeah.
I don't know. It was.
Yes, ma'am.
It was loud and it was a crazy explosion.
Yeah, your friend. His parents created the explosion.
That's what he says. He remembers from when he was a child. He remembers seeing the blue-purple smoke that was the after effect.
Yeah.
In a little container his parents had.
And do you all remember if there was smoke when it came back, or did it just reappear?
I believe there was, right? I believe there was, yeah. There was another cyclone of purple smoke and noise. It was like a thunder crash. There was.
This purple's a very popular color.
It really is.
Check the group chat.
Here's a forensic artist's rendition of the event.
I was gonna say, I was like, how long he previewed that to me the other day.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Yeah, mine's still loading. Alright, whoa!
What are those little specks in the sky? It looks like people
That's
like
so
flying.
I think they're birds. I'm not entirely sure.
No, I think it's like fiery pieces.
Yeah. It's just funny because it looks like.
Because the ship looks like it has a little bit of flame
Oh,
on
I'm
it.
perfect.
It's a sunrise. It's the sunset behind it.
Yeah,
if you guys remember, it came back at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
Okay. It's gonna be some sort of explosive reaction.
So cool.
So, I guess I'm really concerned at who gains the most, and what worries me is not who I think it is, but what worries me is who others think it is. And it doesn't look great having the son of the creators of such explosion in my home shortly after this happened. If anyone else is able to make that connection, most other high lords and ladies have assumed Teleri would usurp that throne when he passes.
I would say that learning of the Night Stalker and its origins and of how old? You were 800, so like great uncle Corey of the Shazarans who committed fratricide. He used the Night Stalker blade, and it is of coincidence that the day that what is her name?
Lenora has
Lenora takes it from us, the Elder King is attacked. By
It was the same day.
Yes.
Interesting.
So, and I've not spoken this out because I'm big, but I'm not that big. But it's just odd timing.
It certainly
And
is.
her father being the elder militant,
Of course.
does have some of the most to gain.
Of course.
So
That does concern me. Because it would just be an elevation of chain of command there.
and that blade is a powerful one, but it also invokes a powerful will on whoever wields it. I mean, I'm not sure how strong Corey was back in the day, but it was able to influence a lot of us.
What worries me is if it is Duchess Lenora Aztec, then her father Vigor would be next in line, since there's not a selected heir as the militant. So if he moves into the First Lord's power, the Elder King's power, I assume Lenora would then move into the Elder Militant role, as she's likely the most qualified.
Don't like that.
And then an heir could be. Is there an heir, a potential heir from the Aztec family?
Supposed to be a power.
there is now. A few years ago, Lenore married, and there could be.
So they have a lot to gain. And I know that people don't always think highly of the Shazams. But
Stop. They think fine. It's just everyone else wants to be in power.
So.
They all know you'll find people. They just would rather they have the say in how things go.
Yeah, I'm just saying I don't know.
But enough of this political talk.
Let's eat.
Tell me about Fade Away as they talk about nonsense.
I'll probably stay in the castle that night, and then I'll just be there tomorrow.
Okay.
Your brother, did he cry in pain?
Jesus Christ.
Eleanor marries your
Oros. Oros and Melicroft. Alright, so I guess I'm a bit confused on what do you want me to do?
Well, so when I was originally uncovering the Fane that you gave me the tip on, when it...
Was it just the tip?
Just the tip. I did get shafted, but it wasn't...
You really had me up by the balls on that.
So the way it was built was like an inverse tower almost. The lowest level was obviously the main altar, and behind the altar were two suits of armor. The one that I am currently inhabiting,
of course,
and another one. Nearly identical, save for the other one was a brighter metal. This is more of a dullish iron sort of color. That was a bright silver. I remember that. But I remember finding some old markings near the suits of armor, and from what I could ascertain, and the other people that I had on my team that were killed as well, we were able to gather that these suits of armor were guardians for the temple, as well as helped in its construction and helped shape it in the way that it was shaped. That's really all that we were able to ascertain on them in the time that we spent there, as we were raided shortly after that. All I can do is walk and talk, and I mean, certain things like it's kind of instinct for the whole armor thing, and you know, the gauntlet will scatter, come into the palm, and then go back. The faceplate will split, and the iron skull and stuff like that's behind it. This, I didn't pick this. I didn't even know this was here until after I woke up in the suit of armor. I can remove the entire piece of armor. Well, in fact, maybe I should, and I'll cast off the entire suit of armor. And he'll be the only person that Milcroft's ever shown his body to. Just the iron, it's like iron musculature. It looks like a human being with no skin, but instead of like red muscle, it's all iron cables.
Terminator 2 liquid metal guy. Yeah.
And so he'll be able to manipulate the little pieces, like these, I don't know, like little cables or...
Do you look like a Terminator with no skin?
Kind of, yeah.
Like one of those...
Well, Mandy found it good.
I see one anime, like you see them, instead of musculature...
Yes, like as he moves the arm, you can see the cables tightening and lessening.
And
like,
in my mind, that's what I'm saying.
And so like when he puts his hand on the gauntlet, you'll see like these strands of... like these little things come out and then bust it apart and then like immediately integrate it into his arm and then do the reverse and he'll set it back down.
Yeah. So, out of roleplay, what are you wanting from him here? Like, what do you think he's going to be able to do?
So there's this like an arm blade is a thing that are meant for like Warforged or whatever. That like you can incorporate, say like a shield or a sword into your physicality and then like deploy it and then retract it and stuff like that. Stuff like that.
Okay.
Cool robot shit.
Oh, yeah, similar to that.
So-
That's to the group.
It's like an 18-wheeler
Oh,
driving through the
jeez.
neighborhood.
I saw that too. I was like, that's going through your neighborhood right now.
How the fuck did he get in here?
Also,
It's like all like
He took a wrong turn. That's
Yeah.
what happened.
also planting the seeds for that thing that I messaged you about the other day.
That sounds like a silence move.
oh my goodness. Okay.
But honestly, I want to take a look into that arm blade type of mechanic at some point.
So Oros is gonna look at you and say, "So what you're telling me is that you can just do it. You think it and it happens.
Yes.
So when you think take off the armor, it just flies off of you. When you
Yes.
think turn into a hammer, or a gauntlet, or split open, it just does it.
Yeah, and sometimes I don't even need to think about it. It's like the armor can tell what my intentions are. So when I was resurrected, I was given instructions by Freya to find and forgive the people that are transgressing against her, which at the time I thought was just the Astral Brotherhood. But when that happens, the faceplate, and I'll reincorporate the helmet and show them how it splits open, and that's subconscious. I don't will that to happen. That does it on its own. So I feel like I don't have full control over this body in its fine mechanisms and stuff like that. I mean, I can move about, but there are still things I don't know, I would assume, about it.
Then just want to try something. Put yourself back together.
Get yourself back together.
Get yourself together.
I need a loading bar.
So here's what I'm curious about. You see this wall, and he looks over, like you see it's like a concrete. Everything here is kind of like built into granite. You see that wall?
I do.
I want you to act like you're throwing a ball, and just throw like nothing, but imagine throwing something at the wall. I want to see what happens with your hands.
Okay. All right, and he'll visualize a ball in his hand and just wind back, and like he's throwing as hard as he can, just throw it towards the wall.
Okay, so as you throw, your whole body kind of, and in your, you kind of feel like for a moment your hand like detaches and then comes back.
Oh!
He's watching. He's just, oh, there! I knew it. I knew it. You could do it. Okay. This time, I want you to imagine throwing as if you had a knife in your hand and you were trying to throw it onto a target on the wall.
Okay.
So, imagine you're throwing a knife and it needs to go end over end. So that motion of flicking the wrist.
Okay.
And target. And as you do this time, you kind of see your hand start to take the shape of a blade, and it goes about 2 feet off, and it retracts back onto your hand.
Inspector Gadget.
The answer is very simple, Jenny. I am a blade.
Sorry.
Interesting.
Might need some more practice, but you understand. If you have control of the body, then I guess you can do whatever you want.
I didn't think about it in that way. I see what you're getting at. It might take some time to explore, but
Yeah, it might take like another level or two, but it
yeah.
it looks like you'll have more
Hypothetically
control,
speaking.
like more control over your
Specific requirement.
You don't need a weapon. You are a weapon.
But being that you did just level up, I guess you can call it an ability. It's not technically an ability, but just the ability of like retraction of like you don't really have that right now. Like yeah, you can kind of move the faceplate and do some of that, but the ability to like pull something, kind of like a mage hand effect.
Yeah.
Like you can, as of right now, you'd be able to put your hand on something, back up 10 feet, your hand dislocates, and then you can go and it'll pull it. Or you can throw your hand and it can grab something and you can pull. Essentially you can have like, it's not mage hand because it can't just like do whatever you want, like float and do that, but you can essentially have like a grab and pull from distance. So
It's like a sticky hand.
yeah, but it's got like a 10-foot range.
Yeah.
So like you can throw it about 10 feet right now. But you can tell, like, as time goes on, like Oros now that he has an idea is going to start working on different things for either you to test or for him to include and modify within you.
There you go.
You should check when you guys get back from your mission. Check with me. I'm going to work on some things. I think we might be able to do something, but I always love a new, exciting machinery to work on. So.
I knew you were just the individual to speak to about this.
You haven't told us that before.
I'm really glad that I got the opportunity at least to just talk about this form with someone who understands.
Have you gone back to your spot of origin?
No, I have not.
Maybe you should. Maybe you could learn something from the other suit of armor, if it's still there.
Side quest.
Yeah, was it still there?
How do you know that Freya hasn't got someone else also doing her bidding? In the other golden armor.
I haven't been back, no. I don't know. I've been kind of avoiding the whole returning to the place I was killed thing, but I feel like it might be time to find my way back, so.
Just a thought. You obviously have another mission right now, but it might be worth thinking.
I
can see why you wouldn't want to go back, considering it's where you know.
Yeah.
We're eliminated, but it's also a place of apparently great divine magic. If you were able to come back, maybe one of the most potent spots of Freya's magic. Maybe it's something that the Brotherhood folk, that they don't quite understand.
It might be. I feel like I am prepared now to finally face that. I have not always felt this way. So.
I have the sneezes.
Freaking birds.
Kind of sounded like please.
Cheese. She sounded like someone from Pitch Perfect sneezing, like I can sneeze.
Oh God.
All right.
I'm not that lame.
All right, everybody. You're staying. Are you looking for anything specific, or are you just trying to enjoy yourself?
No, I was looking for something specific.
Okay.
I was looking for any type of books on like the illness, like the time stones, or like any type of illness pertaining to it.
I mean, it's kind of relevant considering all the time stuff your family's doing.
Make an investigation check.
You got this.
See if you can find any books
It's like
on.
the third roll of the day.
I know, it's been a really long day. I've been rolling a lot back here, if that helps you.
Are they gonna die now?
Are we gonna count my
Die now.
Okay, let's see if this one does.
And I got one.
Woo!
Yeah, it's a very roleplay heavy session.
Alright.
What'd you get?
A 4.
Yeah, you're able to find a bunch of books on, like, you're able to find like medicinal books and things of that nature, but it's more like, you know, the holistic approaches to herbology and ways to apply tourniquets and just like basic, you know, medicine 101. But then you're also able to find books on the Feywild, and as you're reading it, you're like, that's wrong, they no ken nothing, that's wrong. So there's just like, it's a book that was clearly written by someone who had maybe been to the Feywild once, but not enough to be able to write a book on. But there is a bunch of other stories and different, a lot of short stories and full books, and obviously the view. While you're down there, you start to see at this point the sun's starting to set. You guys are there for a few hours. The sun starts to set, and it's a beautiful. You can't see the sun from here because it's facing literally the other way, but you still see the orange glow, and it is crazy orange today. Like, it is more like, it's one of those where, like, that one of those sunsets that just hits a certain way that for some reason the whole sky goes like pastel. It's like crazy orange, and it kind of like alerts you like, okay, it's probably time to leave. I'm assuming you ring the bell.
Yeah,
He comes to get you.
bell.
Okay, so he comes and brings you.
I don't know. Which bell are you going to ring?
I ring right.
Make sure you know.
Ring the T bell. That's the same bell.
And then, and then you and Oros wrap up. You go down. Are you guys going back to the meat hall?
I assume so,
Yeah.
I guess Callan's just not going to tell us where he
I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm gonna stay down.
Oh,
Yeah, I
I
understand.
spoke too soon.
You didn't have
Cool.
to spite, man.
Enjoy your time with your
We're like,
family, and
where's
thank you for
Callan?
going out of your way to tell me about that.
Y'all are annoying.
Thanks for pulling me personally aside to let me know.
I need y'all to not be close.
I'm telling you, whatever these
We're
boots
too
on the
similar.
Like, no,
Who's
whatever.
gonna do seating arrangements?
He's like tap dancing and nothing.
Separate you guys.
I know. He's like, I want to sit next to him for now on.
So
Just you wait. Well, eventually when Trey comes back, you're just gonna move down. Right there.
So
You couldn't handle a tray at this point.
I couldn't handle a tray at this table. I
I
love
would
Trey.
like to cast a nuclear weapon.
He would cause an instant political war.
That's why he's fun.
Don't press the button. I did 10 minutes ago.
I pressed it and then took it off, so you can't fix it.
I pressed it so much it actually broke.
Okay. Anyways, so you guys, the two of you, head back to the meat hall, and as you do, the orange of the sunset, it's not just a sunset. You're seeing that the sun isn't quite set yet. You still see the sun over the ocean to your west. You still see it. It's going down, but it's not setting. This source of orange light is actually coming from the north in the sky. As you see, well, you don't, you're inside. You guys are in the meat hall, but the meat hall has windows.
Yeah.
But again, it just looks like sunset orange. You guys see it directly as it looks like there's some sort of orb in the sky far away. It looks really small from a distance, but its light is dark, almost like a burnt orange that is just spreading across the entire landscape.
From the north? What's north of this place?
It
We're
doesn't.
talking like towards the north, but like up in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking north, like there's
Yeah.
ocean out there.
No, like up in the sky.
Okay.
As you see more like townspeople looking at it too, unsure what it is. Someone says it looks like it's moving, and you hear it, and everyone's watching like, no, it's not moving. But it does look like it's getting brighter. The orange around starts to kind of bleed into almost like a yellow, and it continually gets brighter until that yellow almost turns to white, and then it's just like blinding light above you.
Well, we're inside still.
Is it starting to look weird to us?
Yeah, they're starting to like shine into
I
everywhere.
feel like, does it look like, is it creating heat or like burning the
Yeah,
wood
I don't
of
think
this
that's
thing?
gonna help me ascertain.
Well, I mean, I got my sunglasses out, like my little glasses out.
I'm assuming by now if it's coming into the building, like grandma, I don't.
Grandma.
I don't.
Oh, here's something else.
She looks up as well. She
Grandma.
says, "Stay inside." And
Is
you see her just kind of walk like briskly away, and the door behind slams shut and just.
Oh shit.
Oh my god.
You just hear the. As she like scurries down the stairs.
That's the most emotion she's had this whole time.
I'm gonna have
She you all hear as she gets outside. You hear a booming voice. She says, "Everyone inside now!"
Cool, mission accomplished.
And all of the townspeople see her, and she's using what's it like thunderwave?
Thaumaturgy.
Thaumaturgy, yeah, thunderwave. Not that wrong.
Blasting everyone into their own home.
Not that wrong. No, she's using thaumaturgy to like boom her voice, and everyone sees the High Lady and does not question. No one's ever heard her talk like this. Everyone scurries inside. I'm assuming you guys run.
Yeah, we
Do you run to the closest indoors, or do you run to the meat
I'm
hall?
running to the beat hall.
Yeah.
Okay.
The tower.
It's gonna take
Yes, please.
a few minutes to get there, even hauling ass.
And then if you're going to hall, I follow.
You guys get to the meat hall and see everyone else.
looking
Closer
Callan.
to the windows.
What is
I'm
that?
actually looking at the windows of the
I'm
car.
looking at the window like,
Yeah.
I might be drunk, but the sun is getting really close.
You start recording, you're like,
Didn't
Callan.
think it's the son.
Where's Callan?
Oh, Callan.
He's in the castle. He's
Callan,
still
you
in the
hear all of the locks and the door slam open, and your grandmother looks at you and she says, "I think I was wrong.
about.
Looks like the gate is breaking."
Oh,
seriously,
okay.
Candy?
And that's where we'll end the session.
Oh shit.
It's ironic that the night crew